Hello.
I was going to say good morning, but it's not.
It is the afternoon, baby.
How is everybody? How are we doing? Welcome back to Wicked Game on our charity week. How's it going? How are you feeling?
I'm so excited for today. I've been super excited for this stream all week.
This is basically the highlight for us.
Yeah,
this is it. This is the pinnacle. It doesn't get better than this. Today we are playing the interactive romance novel game, however it is that you like, whether you like to call them otomes, whether you call them interactive novels, whatever it is, this is what we're playing. And it's called Mantle of Secrets. And if you are new in the chat today, we are raising money for Solace Women's Aid, which is an incredible charity.
Yes.
We've already raised, I think, just under £300, 280 something.
Yes, great point. Apologies, I haven't got the overlays for seeing donation goals.
That's what we've got for this morning. It'll be a fun thing to click into later on and go, oh my god, it's that. But Solace offers help to women and children suffering from gender-based violence, and we are really happy to be working alongside them this year. So a little bit about this game.
Yes, we're just gonna. We went through the Solace things yesterday, but £20 can really do a lot of money and do a lot of good with that money if you want to donate. I'm trying. Look, we're not professional. I'm not a professional. Okay,
we're not professionals, but at the same time, we talked a little bit last time about the different amounts of money and what they can do.
Yes. And
so we have already raised an amount of money that gets therapy for 2 people.
Yes.
And so we're just enjoying hitting those goals each time.
Yeah.
But
also, sweet, thank you. But just so we get all of this stuff out of the way before we start, we also have Wicked Game merch for sale. Other way, thank you, Lydia. These beautiful notebooks and absolutely stunning art prints of our Divisia kiddos. It's £15 for a bundle, for this bundle. All of that money will go to charity. Go straight to Solace, so it's not like it's just the profits. It's like we've got these made, we've paid to get these made, and all of that money will go to Solace. So get your notebook.
Very, very good little bit of merch.
And
they're going like hotcakes, people.
They are. We have a limited run, so they are going.
I just realised I had to scooch over. I could feel Nikki in my ear going, getting shot.
Actually, I can move over so you've got more space. So you can come get cozy. So today.
Now, if you were around last year, hey Winter, welcome to Charity Week. If you were around last year when we did this, we did a kind of what if Bridgerton were in fantasy? And it's got similar rules in the sense of every decision you make, think of it like Dragon Age, if anyone has played that. Every decision that you make, everything that you say kind of earns you approval with various people that you meet. So it isn't just about you going, I like you, and then trying to win them or lose them. It's like people like you, they like your personality, that being said, there's sort of no winning or losing because you just got to be your own personality, right? You got to decide what your character's like. As you can see from the screen, we already made Rue, who love her. She's going to be great. There is some rolls that happen. So I forgot to say get your dice, but we need D6.
I always have dice nearby, so there's no worries. But it's the one thing I wasn't prepared for.
It is. There's a couple of skill checks So you have to kind of work out what your character is good or bad at. And because perhaps this story has like a slightly sneaky edge to it, you know, last year it was like wit and beauty and all of the things that you might have in Bridgerton. And this is a little bit more like Cloak and Dagger. Yeah. So yes, she's very intuitive.
Yeah.
She's persuasive.
Yeah.
She's got she's not she's got a bit of muscle.
A little bit. Nothing like crazy, but
yeah. And she's a real normal when it comes to the brains.
Yes.
And she's a little on the stiff side.
Yeah. I found it really hard to decide what I wanted her to be good at, and then I just stopped thinking about it too much and just went, yeah, let's not think about it too much. Can I give the backstory for Rue?
Yeah.
Okay. So Rue is an orphan, or was an orphan. At what point is an orphan? That grew up on the streets of
a city called Valmetten.
Okay, grew up. I knew that. In a city of Valmetten. She is a water genasi, and a bit of lore about the world. A portal opened up to the plane of water around the time Rue was probably conceived. And now in the world there are a lot more water genasi, but Rue is kind of one of those like early ones. And so, you know, she would have been a bit of a reminder of this like terrible time. So sort of growing up to be a bit tough and kind of be on her own because people are a bit not mistrusting of her, but just
it certainly took some time for the world to realise why their babies were suddenly coming out green.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
So there was an adjustment period after that huge event in the world where this thing came. So with that, Love Rue, she's going to be epic.
Yes.
So I'm going to be doing, if you see me panicking in my eyes, it's probably because I'm trying to count and do the scoring and all of that kind of stuff. And is it all right that it's flickering like that?
Yeah, I'm sorry. It might flicker a bit. It's just my
as long as it's okay.
Thing. It's there. It's just the connection. My Elgato is a bit like I can't. I had strong words with it this morning because it didn't want to work. So if it does flicker, I really apologise. Hopefully, while I'm working, it might be better, but
what I'm sort of hoping is that as and when characters that appeal to Michelle, she might do quick sketches, quick sketches,
or just you can see my notes, so I can be like, Greg.
I can't believe I didn't make Greg.
You didn't make Greg?
There's no Greg. Oh my god.
I'm so ready for
Greg. Guys. Rip Greg.
But I mean, so you can see notes, so if I get lost or you get lost, hopefully they will help out. I'm putting my art glove on.
Okay, let us commence. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Valmetten, a city tucked away in western Dawn Valon, obscured by both the treacherous Haglian wilds and the perilous cliffs of northern Therbernia. The watchful eye of the ruling High Corlia often cannot see what happens in Valmetten, and so it's become a haven for those who thrive in avoiding the letter of the law. The harbour within the city of Valmetten, breathtaking and fast-moving. A bay protected by bluffs that seem to reach up into the heavens. A sprawling stone wharf of wooden walkways housing immense ships, bringing people and things from all over the world. Certainly the people and things that might not want to be inscribed in any official ledgers. On this bright spring twilight on the harbour of Valmetten, a troop of performers tumble from a ship fresh from the south. Fire breathers agitate spluttering foremen. Acrobats pull gasps from a fast-forming crowd as they spring from the mast of the ship and land in perfect formation with one another. Dancers weave through clumsy labourers and musicians drown out the complaints from the harbour workers. Before too long, This place is brimming with those leaving work and drawn by the spectacle. A crier works the crowd, inviting one and all to the month's worth of performances at the local theodium. Promises of death-defying feats with exotic animals, enchanting theatre, and thrilling acts of gravity defiance. But you, Rue, from your vantage point, with one leg dangling from the first floor window, you can see the caged tigers being brought to the deck of the ship, as well as monkeys screeching and lashing out in complaint. It is not a wonder they disembark with such distracting spectacle. The citizens of this city might be harder than most, but it's still clever not to draw attention to such things on arrival. But you must make the most of this wonderful distraction, and with the lightness and grace of a cat, with -1 reflexes, you drop from the window and land silently on the stone pavement. A good reaping of pockets in the next few minutes could keep you in clean sheets and piping hot baths for a whole 10 day. Roll a d6 and add your reflex. Oh no! We're going to be off to a good start.
Look, it could be a 6. It could be a 6. I wish
we're going to need it to be.
It's a 4, which makes it a 3, which is average.
Which is a fail.
Oh, no.
So, after a few hours' work, you have to stop. Too many people catch you before you even start, and you walk away with a single drawstring purse and 1 enamel pin.
All right.
You duck into a narrow alley that has often given you privacy to count out your treasures. Looking at the total of your work, you can pay for a bed in a shelter tonight and maybe one of their rancid meat pies. Tomorrow is another day, and it will bring more opportunities. Only then do you hear the voice. Oh my god, I forgot to do content warnings.
Oh, content warnings. Let's do them now.
Quick content warning. Firstly, there's going to be some spicy language. Secondly, there is going to be a little scotch of violence and, depending on how well or badly she plays, maybe some death.
Cool, okay.
So look after yourselves, people.
Yeah, I think that's fair content warning.
I should have done that at the beginning. I'm so bad at it. I'm sorry. This is what happens when Lydia doesn't write notes.
Is there content warning for smooches?
Listen, who doesn't want a smooch? Actually, that is a good point. There's
because it might
don't
get
want a smooch.
Yeah. Also, how spicy we get.
It's like medium hot spicy at times, depending on who you spice.
Okay.
Who do you spice?
Who do you spice?
Some people are really spicy, and some people are a little bit more like cuddly. But so, having said that, you are looking at your meagre thievery. And then, it's only then do you hear a voice. "Ay up, you thieving little cunt. I saw you lifting. Hand it over." 5 figures, all of them as big as houses, faces unreadable by the darkness. You look at your meagre loot that you worked so hard for, and your eyes scan the alley for an escape route, but you've always liked this alley for the privacy. There's no windows, there's no drain pipes. You are trapped. The figures are looming over you now. Roll a d6 and add your physical strength to fight them.
Oh, let's go. Okay, I get +1 to this. Okay, this is good.
You can do this. Okay, it's unsuccessful.
I rolled a 2. Oh no. Rue is not doing well. Rue is not built for this.
You charge at them, fists flying, and you hardly even land a punch before your head hits the cobblestones from a powerful blow to the ear that leaves them ringing. You curl up in a ball and wait for the onslaught of kicks to start from the muggers.
Oh, God. All right.
But when you hear the thuds, you do not feel them. In fact, you listen to the sounds of attacks, of people being winded by gut punches, the shock of a head being slammed into a wall, and you tentatively open your eyes just in time to see the thugs fall to the ground and 2 new figures standing over them. One steps to you and leans down, offering their hand to you. As they get close, the last of the day's light catches the side of their face, and you see tanned skin, blue hair, and shining eyes.
Oh no.
I suggest we move quickly, my friend.
Okay.
Tearing through the cobbled streets, hot on the heels of the two figures who saved you. They take all the back streets, the shortcuts and secret cut-throughs that you thought only you knew. Finally, you come to a stop in a narrow street in the poorer side of the city, with cramped timber terrace dwellings on either side of an alley that's too narrow for even a small cart. Each floor of the building overhangs the last, and it increases the sense of confinement. From the shadows of an open door steps a woman. Beneath a cloak of umber linen, muscled shoulders and defined biceps show. She has deep emerald skin, pale grey-green eyes, and a cascade of tousled black hair. She stands very tall, and her ears are long and pointed. "How did it go?" she says quietly to the taller of the figures you came with. "We made it. That's the important thing." They unclip their dark cloak and smile at you. He is tall and broad, with caramel sun-kissed skin. A white shirt flaps open, revealing a broad chest and defined muscles. As he steps towards you, you catch a scent of sea salt and clover. His long hair is vivid sea blue, as is the close-cropped beard, and his warm brown eyes twinkle with delight. "So, Rue, let's catch our breath and get better acquainted. My name is Lennon, and you've already met Seraph here." Leaning against the wall, taking a casual swig from a leather-bound flask, is a woman, Seraph, with deep ruby skin that seems to glow even in this twilit alley. Her licorice hair seems to willfully pull free from many delicate gold accessories, and horns sweep back from her temples to above the back of her head, and a gold chain dangles between them. She wears leathers of rich mahogany red that crisscross her slight frame. She raises a challenging eyebrow and nods. "And here," indicating the arresting emerald woman in the doorway, "is Robin." So let me just pause for a second. Because
Oh my goodness. Immediately I'm in danger. Oh no.
we've got not you.
Oh.
We've got Lennon, pronouns, he, him.
Okay, let me write it on here. Oh goodness, this is gonna be so annoying. I'm so sorry. Why are you doing this? Let me just shovel the
Sweet boys, and you've hit the holy trinity of Robin, Seraph and Lennon.
Oh no. Lennon, he, him?
He, him.
Beautiful. Oh god.
Blue hair, broad, tall, strong,
Okay.
twinkly.
Oh god. Yeah, cool.
We've also got Seraph. I know.
Seraph.
Saints preserve us. Tiefling, she, her.
Oh god. This is gonna be
Pale
tough.
eyes, red skin, dark hair, loads of jewellery, tight dark leathers, and finally we have Robin.
Oh, Robin.
Muscular, tall, no nonsense, dark hair, she, her.
Okay, cool.
So now that you are in this alleyway with these three people, how do you respond?
Oh.
Do you say, "Is everyone okay? That sprint from the harbour was fast. Pleased to meet you all. My name is Rue." Or do you say, "Who are you guys and what do you want with me?" Or do you say, "I have friends following us, so don't try anything." Or do you say, "You guys know the city better than I do, and I didn't think that was possible. Pleased to meet you. My name is Rue."
Okay.
What's she like? What's our girl like?
That's what I'm thinking. So,
Polycule unlocked.
yes.
I do not have the code for it.
No.
If I had the code to do that, I would do it. I can't work it out.
Let me have all of them. Okay, so right off the bat, I think Rue's a bit untrusting.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think option 1 or option 4, because they're very like, "Oh, hey."
Whatever you guys want. How can I be of service?
Yeah, which I don't love. Here's the thing. I want to go for number 3 of like, I've got friends following me, but I don't think that she's that intelligent to think that quickly.
Okay.
God, I'm making her like, she's gonna be so bad. Why have I done this? maybe.
What do you want with me?
Yeah, I think what do you want with me? I think just let's be straight up. She's a bit spiky. Like, what do you want?
Yeah.
Or I want. Do I go? Maybe she is stupid enough though. To come up with a lie.
To do I have friends.
Yeah.
Like, don't forget, you've lived on these streets a long time.
Yeah, I think that's got her out of trouble a few times, saying like, I've got friends.
You're surrounded.
Yeah.
By me.
I think she's dumb enough to lie. That's the thing.
Okay, let's do that then.
Let's do number 3. She's she's in a dangerous situation. There's no harm in lying, right? Exactly. No thoughts, vibes only. And the vibes are, man, I wish I had some friends around. These people that just rescued me. Yeah, I got friends though. They didn't step in, but I do have them.
Lennon turns away, shaking his head and laughing at your obvious lie. Robin stalks forward, but says, do we really look like people who would steal? She opens the pouch of things you stole that is inexplicably in Seraph's hands and looks at it, a pile of shiny junk. Seraph continues, let's talk somewhere that doesn't smell of fish guts and piss.
Whatever you want.
How do you reply? Do you say, sorry, yes, what do you need from me? Or do you say, what do you want? You better be quick. I have to fence this stuff quickly, and you snatch back the bag. Or do you say, we can talk, but you should know I don't like to owe favours to people? Or do you say, I'm sorry I lied, but I'm just one against 3 really impressive looking people?
Oh God! Oh no! I think Ruth's gonna be the worst because I don't want 104. Like, I think it's gonna be number
3. I don't.
I think number 2. I think she's just like, all right, fine. You sold. Wait, was 2?
2 actually makes loads of sense because you're like, I have to fence this. Like, I only got 1 brooch and some coins. I have to fence it really quickly if I'm going to stay anywhere tonight.
Yeah, if I want to eat today, I think that's her thought process, right? I need to eat. So, what do you want? What do you want?
Very interesting
You
story.
saved me, so you're probably not gonna 4 is what Michelle's feeling. Yes, absolutely. Michelle would just go, yeah, what do you want? Rue, no.
Seraph says, oh, Lennon loves to yabber on, but don't worry, I have a feeling everything will turn out okay. And Robin smiles at you. You step inside an abandoned dwelling with all of them. The dwelling is boarded up and puddles of stagnant water give off an acrid smell. 3 chairs are the only furniture in this house. Seraph lights some smoke leaf that smells somehow of roses and parsley. Finally, Lennon speaks. There's no way of saying this that doesn't sound... Well, your antics around the city have not gone unnoticed. You say my antics? Noticed by whom? Well, Lennon continues, you've been stealing to get by since you were able to walk, but you don't steal from people who would miss it, and you're rarely one of the youths rounded up by the custers each day to be made examples of. In fact, 3 days ago there was not a single flogged because somehow all the people chained up were set free simultaneously, and not a single one was re-caught that day. You reply, I'm sure I have no idea what you're talking about. No idea what you're on about. Don't know.
Lennon
looks to Seraph and Robin, who simply smile at you from a cloud of scented smoke. And there's quite a lot of, sorry to just stop for a second, but my good friend Anne, we often talk about fictional romance characters, and our favourite type of character is the smokes in the no smoking zone, which you're going to see quite a lot in this game.
I like that a lot.
All right, now the second question. Who noticed all this? Robin sits forward, flipping a fine dagger in her hand. And what do you know of the mantle?
Oh.
You scoff at the mention of the word. Oh, only the most famous secret organisation in all of Dawn Valon. Wait, are you serious? The Mantle? part spy ring, part thieves guild, and answers to no one but the infamous Silent Hood, who has never been seen. They've brought down kings and queens and kept the poor fed during the seep epidemic by stealing from those profiteering from it. You are the Mantle? Seraph stands. Whoa, that's a big leap to make. We only asked if you knew of the Mantle. Now, let's say, for the purposes of imaginative conversation, that the Mantle has noticed your abilities in this city and were considering bringing you into the fold. How would you feel about that?
Oh.
Do you say, the Mantle has done so much good for the needy in this city, I'd be honoured. Sounds like I'm being headhunted to be a member of the most famous spy ring in the land. I'd feel like I wanted to know what the details were before agreeing to anything. Or I'd feel like it was the first good thing to ever happen to me.
Okay. So, I think number one for Rue. I think the Mantle has done so much good for this. I would be on it. Like, I don't think she's not aggressive, but spicy, like spiky
also,
to protect herself. But now, fuck, if these are those people,
the Mantle is one of those things that people are like, oh my god, MI6.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, if this means I haven't got to, like, fail at stealing to eat a shitty pie, then I'd
actual shit pie.
I'd be on it.
Lennon leads you away. Did
you want me to read Rue's bits?
You could do if you wanted.
Cool.
That would be really nice. Lennon stands and goes to leave. We have someone we'd like you to meet. Seraph continues. If you are truly interested, then you're in luck. The Silent Hood is in Valmetten and wanted to recruit you to our ranks. They are waiting in a tavern nearby to talk to you, if you think you'd be interested in becoming a member of the Mantle.
Me? Why? I'm nobody.
Perfect.
Don't know what a voice is.
Perfect. Robin looks at you and replies, exactly. Look, everything else should be discussed with the Silent Hood. But listen, you should know, if you decide not to join, you'll have your memory of this evening erased, and you'll be placed back by the harbour. Do you understand? How do you respond?
Right.
Okay. Of course I understand the importance of secrecy in the line of work you do.
Okay.
We better hope this is legitimate, because I don't like my head being messed with. Meeting the great Silent Hood is a good trade for the threat of some mindfuckery, or 4, it would be devastating to meet my hero only to forget it ever happened, but it's hard to imagine me not wanting to be a member of the Mantle, so let's see what happens.
I think number 3. Let's do a number 3 again.
Fuckery.
Yeah, fine. The threat of some mindfuckery to meet the great Silent Hood. Yeah, all right.
Lennon furrows his brow and glances to Robin, who looks suspicious. But Seraph smiles and shows you out. Come on, it's not far from here. You exit the dark dwelling. You are led through a door, not back into the alley again, but through another derelict building, and another, and another, through tight alleys and hidden passages. When you finally recognise where you are, it's in the district of the city that has a great many taverns and inns. Turning onto the main thoroughfare, busy with people pouring in and out of the market, you spy a particularly nasty Custer. In case anyone's new, Custer is like a policeman, woman, person. Particularly nasty Custer riding a horse towards you. One that has been hounding you relentlessly for over a year. They see you and their brow sets with determined malice. This bastard would pull you away from these people and find a way to pin something on you. Whatever they want, it will be trouble. Now, which of these 3 people that you're currently with do you turn to help you out? Lennon,
interesting.
Seraph, or Robin?
Okay. So Lennon seems like big, buff, really friendly.
Big, buff, twinkly
friend.
kind. Seraph, tiny, not tiny, but like slim, intimidating, smoking, dark brooding. Robin, big, strong, intimidating, brooding.
Yeah. Yes. Brooding, rich brooding. So I think not Seraph, because I think Seraph is the likes to smoke in the no smoking zone.
Yeah, but Seraph and Robin are both kind of smokers in the, but Seraph, she's a real smoker in the no smoking zone.
Yeah. So I just feel like looking to them will be like,
they might escalate things. And Lennon was the one who actually helped me, like, get up. Right? So he was right there in the alley helping you up.
Right there in the alley getting
He is a helper.
And I think he feels like the person that would maybe calm this situation, whereas the others might escalate it. And I don't think she necessarily wants people to handle her stuff for her. Mm-hmm. Like, Seraph and Robin could probably, like, take this guy out, but that's not what she wants. She doesn't want to be like, hey, can you deal with him? So I think let's go Lennon. I think she'll look to Lennon. I don't know. I'm trying not to gamify this at all, and this might go poorly.
You turn quickly to Lennon, eyes pleading. His expression morphs in a second from a man who seemed always to have a joke on the tip of their tongue to fierce eyes darting to the source of your worry. Eyes narrowing at the sight of this notoriously cruel Custer. Lennon draws up next to you and wraps his powerful arm around your shoulders. He leans his face close to yours, turning his back to the Custer, and whispers in your ear. The warmth of his cheek on yours, it's on yours, and it catches your breath for a moment. I've got this, my friend. You have more right to walk these streets than that prick. You don't have to fear him anymore. He pulls his head away and laughs as if he shared some saucy joke with you, and looks up to the Custer looming over you both, that is riding on horseback. The Custer speaks. All right, rat, you know the score. Empty your pockets. He could not even finish his sentence when Lennon opens his arms wide and interrupts with a, hey, good to see you again. What a glorious day for it, eh? He takes the Custer by one hand and shakes it vigorously before they even have a chance to object. With swift fluidity, he leans in and whispers into the ear of the horse, pats them kindly on the neck. The horse seems to nod and idly walks away, ignoring the pulls on the rein. Wait, hang on! Damn it, Flossie! Go back! Is all that he can be heard from the Custer as they are ambled further down the street, and you walk away, following your three companions, who are laughing heartily, into a tavern called the Winking Seagull.
The Winking Seagull! Oh, amazing.
The interior is modest but well appointed, and a gnomish person nods to Seraph. They stride confidently through a velvet black curtain. As your eyes adjust to the low light, you hear Lennon speak. You were right. The harbour was a spectacle, but we have them now. May I introduce Rue? Turning to you, he says, Rue, this is the Silent Hood.
Wait, a meeting right now? Wait, oh God.
Through the candlelight and smoke of the room, 3 dark figures flank the Silent Hood, pulling back the fine cowl. He is shockingly handsome by any standard or preference. Short black hair effortlessly swept away from a face of pale olive skin, vivid dark sapphire eyes, and a wickedly full mouth curled into the faintest of half smiles. Please do sit. I understand you had a colourful day. A raven hops onto his well-tailored shoulder and eyes you. How do you respond? Do you pull up chairs for everyone you came in with, including yourself? Do you spy an elegant carved chair sitting against a wall and pull that up to the table, exchanging it for the stool that had been in front of you? Do you say, it's okay, I'll stand, thank you? Or do you bob your head to him? It's a true honour to meet you. I've dreamed of this my whole life.
Oh, this is tough. Yeah, can I whisper in the raven's ear? Can I chat to the raven?
What's going on? What do I do? How do I play this, Raven?
Okay, how do we play this? How does Rue play this? God, what kind of girl is Rue? What are we thinking? I know how important it is to stick to like your character, but I'm still figuring her out.
If you were sticking to your character, so far you've done a lot of number 2s, which would mean that you don't want to sit down on the nasty little stool that's in front of you, so you go and get the nicer chair. Or you've already picked 3s as well, so you could just say, it's alright, I'll stand. Or you could say it's an honour to meet you. Or you could just pull up chairs for fucking everybody.
Yeah, I don't think she's gonna pull up chairs for everyone. That feels a bit like, yeah, we're all friends now. I think number 2 feels like the smallest of power move you can make. Like, it's so tiny, but it is just like,
right. I deserve a pretty chair. Yeah?
Fuck it, why not? Let's do it. I have no idea what to do.
A lot of people are watching you do this, so it affects the way that a lot of people see you. Right.
I think Rue, she's got to have a bit of, like, even if it's false, confidence in herself, and like come across as like more confident in maybe what she is. She doesn't want to be like, oh, I love you guys. Yeah.
As you take the chair and sit down, you hear Seraph laugh quietly behind you, and he smiles. Silent Hood addresses you. Wait, is this the top? Okay. He leans back in his chair and lights a cigarette. So, now you know who we are. Taking a long pull on the smoke leaf that gives off a dreamy, spicy scent, the raven cocks its head as if looking at you first from one eye and then the other. People can contribute to the work we do in many different ways. Some people contribute intelligence as they live their lives. Some people contribute their confidence, like those that know my true face, or our safe houses and hideouts. You have found yourself in the realm of our attention because you have, interestingly, after what the roles that you just had, considerable self-taught skills in being now. Do you think they know you for being strong and able, persuasive and clever, or sneaky and quick-fingered?
None of the above.
I think I'd probably be persuasive and clever, right?
I think persuasive. So I think here's what Rue does. I think persuasive and clever. She's kind of a little bit cute, and I think, I don't know why, I imagine Genasi a little bit smaller, so can do that, like, oh, I'm just like a little girl, but then like will stab you kind of thing. So I think, and it's that like watching people go by, waiting for the opportune moment. I think that's what it is. But yeah, she's sort of, her top 2 are intuition and persuasion. So
it's very interesting that you say that. There may be lore unlocked about the raven.
Is it? Oh my goodness.
You didn't know?
I was going to say, is it Raven, the Scottish guy from the CBBC show?
That's so Raven.
Oh, not Raven Simone. Oh shit, is it Raven Simone?
Drinks are poured for everyone in the room by the gnomish person from the bar. For a small while it is quiet enough in this smoky room that the light chatter from the main bar of the Winking Seagull is all that can be heard. When the gnome leaves again, he continues. For people like yourself, we have quite a lot to offer. You could live with us and do mantle work for considerable pay. You would be part of the great brotherhood of the mantle. You would, of course, not be able to tell anyone about us, so I suggest, if you find our offer tempting, you consider any close relationships you have. It's not possible to maintain such things with outsiders. There is a pause. He flicks ash on the floor. His deep blue eyes seem to flash in challenge. Can you please roll a d6 and add to your intuition?
Okay. Come on, Rue. I'm also thinking of changing her up even more, which feels wild halfway through the game, but it's a 3, which makes it a 6.
That is successful intuiting.
Okay.
Your eyes dart from person to person in the dimly lit room. Something is very off here. The Silent Hood is the most hidden and a mysterious figure in Dawn Valon. The mantle has been accredited for some monumental acts that benefit the people of this kingdom. This man is confident and charismatic, swaggering even. This is not the face of a person who abhors the limelight. Everybody else in the room waits for your response, shifting in their seats, smoking, or sipping their drinks. Everyone but one. The person yet to reveal their face. A dark figure standing behind the man that you've been talking to. This figure is so preternaturally still that you would not have known they were there if you weren't always counting how many people were in the room for your own safety. So, you nod to the person standing at the back.
When are you going to talk to me directly?
Real tough, love that.
When are you going to...
Hey you!
Yeah.
When are you going to talk to me directly?
When are you going to talk to me directly?
The room goes completely still. The handsome man that you were talking to looks momentarily irritated, but then smiles, giving up the game. The raven caws softly and turns its head to the man. The hooded figure steps forward. I'm impressed. We were right to try and recruit you. They glide towards you, but still they do not pull back their hood. No one in the room moves. Yes, I am the Silent Hood. This is my right-hand man, Radcliffe Murden. Forgive him, I asked him to play along in this pretense. Walking round the table to where you sit, a gloved hand is held out. Won't you walk with me on this fine evening, and we can talk some more? So here we have the actual Silent Hood, who is, you don't know what race, and goes by all pronouns.
Okay, so we've got...
Hey, please talk to me directly.
Silent Hood.
All pronouns, how greedy.
Beautiful.
Okay, side by side and unaccompanied, you leave the winking seagull into the city night.
Ooh, this is exciting. Okay, just before, just so in case I start making like wild changes, I'm thinking, do we not change her up, but now she's like getting more comfortable, she might start going for those like 1 and 4 options that are like, oh, I'm so pleased to meet you, but like is actually kind of secretly not really thinking that stuff. You know, like, not like when you play...
You're trying to win certain people over with a good attitude? I'll say this, you already know that there's certain people that kind of like that spicy edge.
Oh, yes, they do. But I'm like, does she have a spicy... I think she has a spicy edge, but would she cover it up with like, oh, it's so lovely to meet you? Do you know what I mean?
Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens the next time you have to say something. The streets are busy and lamplit as you walk silently for a while. As your steps fall into sync, you find that without speaking, you are now a 2-person school of fish. You weave through the busy streets and make turns in step. In a moment of what feels like pure instinct, you both take a run at some barrels in a dark street and use them to launch up onto a low rooftop. You are running now, not running from anything, not running for your life, but running for the pure joy of a clear sky at night in Valmetten. The bright, full moon illuminating the skyline of the city for you. Hurdling chimneys and leaping gaps, you run the night. You soon find that you have both climbed to a high point. Where needed, the Silent Hood reaches out a slim gloved hand to you. Finally, you look around and realise that you are on the high spire of the Temple of Oban, the goddess of secrets, that looks out over the bay.
So romantic.
Breathing heavily, the Silent Hood takes in the view and then sits. You perch next to them. So, you loved doing that as much as I do? What do you reply with? I love the city, yes. I loved racing, yes. I think I could have beaten you. Was that a test? Or, I do. There's such freedom in it.
Oh. I think this is a number 4.
I do. There's such freedom.
Yeah. Like, I think her guard's been dropped a little bit. Like, this person just feels like...
They think about that for a moment, and then... Forgive us our little tests. It is an important day for us too, you know, when we bring in new blood, and trust is hard to test for.
You test trust by lying?
You offer back. The silent hood laughs, and it's like gentle running water. Truth is different from trust. People lie all the time. Sometimes people have to lie. Sometimes we lie to ourselves. I choose never to show my face, and there is falsehood in that. But trust is different. A bird coasts the wind, hovering high over where the ocean breeze meets the tall buildings of the city. Trust is like us running just now, and you reaching for my hand over a 30-foot drop. Trust is knowing your ally will keep lookout. Trust is knowing your fellow mantles have instincts that will save their lives, like knowing when something isn't right in a room. I can't promise you that the mantle won't tell you lies, but you will come to see that you can trust us with your life. Better, you can trust their lives to us. They nod down to the people wandering the streets, going into taverns and chatting to friends. You've had a hard life. That life taught you skills, thievery, stealth, coercion. I'd like to take those skills and point them away from your day-to-day survival and towards helping the people of Valmetten, Dawn Valon even. There is corruption and hardship everywhere. In turn, we will be your hearth, your home, your family, and you will want for nothing ever again. How does that sound?
Oh!
How does that sound?
How does that sound? Too good to be true?
Do you say, helping people is all I've ever wanted?
Nah, fuck the people.
I'll be the best you've ever recruited. How could I say no to the Silent Hood themselves? Or, this is the best day of my life.
I think this is a number 2. I think this is... Oh?
It's just... No, it's just us going, this is definitely a number 2.
Number 2. Oh, I went for number 2 last time, didn't I? Yeah, I think she's like, I'll be the best you ever recruited.
Wait, you did a skill check and I didn't mark it down. It
was a 6 for intuition. Yeah, I think number 2. Oh, I think this is going to be a 2 and 3 gal.
4 sounds so win-wan. What a pull.
It does sound very win-wan. This is the best day of my life.
They smile, and there is a moment of quiet as you look out over the bay, the moonlight glittering on the water and the glow from the lighthouse on the bluff. And then, right, it's time to see your new home and meet the family. Would you like to collect your things on the way? You are both running again over the rooftops, but this time you lead the way to the place where you stash your meagre belongings, where some tiles are loose on a house. Then, to your surprise, you're led back to the roof of the Temple of Oban. This time, you climb up to the bell tower. Many times you've looked at the bell hanging silently in the narrow pillared tower. You've always felt that the silence was an allegory for the goddess of secrets. But now, when you lay your hand on it, you realize it is welded still. And instead of the pendulous tongue within, there's a long metal pole disappearing down a long shaft. The Silent Hood
Shit, that's cool.
stands opposite you for a moment, some phantom breeze billowing their cloak, and then, in a swift movement, they grip the pole and step off the ledge, spiraling down into the dark hole. You take a deep breath and follow suit, and plummet through the center of the temple. You realize, after some long moments of gut-curdling descent, you have already tumbled past the ground floor level and probably past the crypts, as well as the air becomes colder. For a while, it is pitch dark. Below you, it's difficult to make out the Silent Hood, but eventually you see light and the ground comes up towards you Please roll a d6 and add reflexes to see how you land.
Oh no.
The imagery here, thank you. Shafts and poles and holes.
Yeah. That's a 4, which makes that a 3.
That is.
That's a success.
You are caught before you can untangle your feet from the pole, and you land in a heap on the stone ground. Looking up, you see a crowd of people regarding your crumpled form. Where are you? You find yourself in this. I can't believe how much failing you've already done.
Rue, she's trying so hard. Why did they hire her? Why didn't you warn me? You should have said, hey, reflex is a pretty necessary one.
You must have done some really great things in your life to still be recruited after basically like falling over your own feet a bunch of times. You find yourself in the center of a large circular stone hall with low vaulted ceilings and simple light fittings. It seems to function as a meeting place, dining room, fencing post, and war room, with the walls littered with maps and blueprints, and a mixture of many mismatched round dining tables as well as sofas and coffee tables. All around you are the members of the Valmetan branch of the Mantle. They are holding up mugs and goblets. The Silent Hood walks towards you with a cup and hands it to you. Welcome to the Catacombs, the Mantle's home and hideout. We have some business to attend briefly, but let me properly introduce my right-hand man and sometimes impersonator, Radcliffe Murden. He will show you around and where your quarters will be. I don't think I said this before. Radcliffe Murden, he, him. Devilishly handsome. Devilishly handsome. I mean, I think you remember this, don't you? Not the facial hair, but yeah, you remember this.
Yep. Oh no.
The searingly handsome man is by your side in an instant, pinning you with a challenging look. Hello again, my friend. Glad you've joined this little family. Come this way. Walking through the people at this haphazard welcoming party, you see Lennon, Seraph, and Robin are already here, as well as some others. Don't worry, you'll have plenty of time to meet them all tonight, and anyone out working this evening will be keen to introduce themselves over breakfast tomorrow, I'm sure. I hope you don't like a sea view with your sleeping quarters. How do you reply?
Oh.
I don't want to put anyone out, just give me whatever room no one else wants. Or, no view? Well, I'll take extra closet space then. Or, does it have good access to an exit? Or, I just want to take this moment in. I've never had my own room before, my own space. It's overwhelming.
Okay. I think this is a 3. I think...
Can I bolt easily?
Yes. How, like, what are my quarters? Well, you say my quarters. Is it a cell? Yes, I'm in danger. Yeah, does it have good access to an exit, or are you going to lock me in a cell? You piece of shit.
Radcliffe furrows his brow. There are several exits, but I don't think you should concern yourself with I think you should concern yourself with a significant shift in perspective. You are Mantle now. We do not get raided by custers. We do not steal from each other. And we do not ambush each other in our sleep. You no longer have to have the need to look for a quick exit down here. You follow Radcliffe to your quarters.
Right.
You are guided to a room at the very end of a corridor lit with sconces and softened with tapestries. The room is, of course, windowless. You are many miles beneath ground.
Yeah.
But a painting of the western coastline hangs large on the wall opposite the door. Linens are neatly folded on a spacious but basic bed, and simple wooden furniture decorates the room. You place your bag on a chair to the side. That's you.
So how does all this work?
You ask, as he leans on the doorframe.
Oh, fuck, you can't have him lean on the doorframe, Lydia!
It is the sexiest thing to do, isn't it? What? So, do you say, How do we know who to help? Do we spend shifts looking for people in need? Or I go steal things and give you guys a cut for board and protection? Or 3, who do I answer to? Clearly you are the Silent Hood's lapdog, but do I have to do what you tell me to, or can I find my own work? Or I'm wondering what I did to deserve this and what I need to earn my keep. I mean, now is the time to decide whether you're being really spicy or whether you're going to try and pretend to some people. He's already given you a little bit of like, don't be shady.
Yeah, he doesn't like it when that's the thing. He doesn't like it when I'm shady, so I think that's something else, right? She's got a good intuition, and again, I know that's not how you play the game, but he doesn't take kindly to that stuff, it seems.
Hey, Del.
Hey. I don't think I'm wondering what I did to deserve this. Feels like I mean, there's a part of me that wants to say that more for like, hey, you see how much I fail? Like, what really do you want?
That's a good point.
But I think maybe number 1 is just like a straight up like, you know, like, how do you find people who need help? Because I needed help and you found me. So maybe 1, but man, I want to say 3 so bad to him.
No, Michelle wants to say 3.
Michelle wants to say 3.
Do you maybe go for 2 because you don't know how it works? Because
because it's a question mark. It's not. Oh, I'm gonna do this.
I mean, I don't.
No. 2 feels like it's a guess of like, right. So I go and steal things and I give you a cut.
Radcliffe flashes that slightly cruel smile. Come now. You know we work on a bigger scale than that. We're not some kind of thieves' guild. We have fed information from our contacts about all kinds of things: smuggling, theft, political influence, and corruption. We hatch plans to restore balance and make gold along the way. You're part of a team now. Think bigger.
Okay.
He knocks his head back down the corridor to the sound of a fiddle being played. Let's go back to it, eh? You can't hide in here when there's a party in your honour.
For me?
For me? Walking back to the expansive hall, you are immediately met by Robin, who is standing next to a beautiful person with pale hair and kohl-rimmed golden eyes. Radcliffe nods to you as he is drawn away for a private conversation in a dark alcove. Robin gestures to the person next to her. Let me introduce Euphoria. Came to us about 5 years ago from buttfuck farmland nowhere after discovering that they were Okrath blessed. Hence the eyes. Okrath blessed is kind of like an Asama of Okrath, the goddess of renewal.
Ooh, okay.
In this, I'm like, because it's kind of like our D&D, but also kind of like a novel for anybody, God's Blessed is the same as Asama. Yeah.
Oh, I love that though. Okay.
Euphoria beams at you, and it is indeed like looking at a sunset over a cornfield. They stand about 5'4" with butterscotch skin, and due to their shirt being slightly unbuttoned low, you can see the bronze birthmark in the shape of the symbol of Okrath at the very base of their throat. Their golden eyes seem to be both brimming with secrets and hopelessly honest, all at the same time. Their buttercream mop of hair is shaved on the sides, but the curls bounce prettily around their jawline. They are holding out a skewer of perfectly charred marshmallows with a wide, guileless smile. So this is Euphoria.
Euphoria. They, them?
She, them.
She, them. She, they.
I have a little bit of like starter reference art that's always that I have like pinned up, and I'm not sharing it because it's not fair on the original artists, but I'm just giving Michelle a little bit of a look.
Oh god, they're so cute. They're so cute. Oh shit.
Euphoria hands you, is like offering you these marshmallows. Here, you must be starving. We have proper food as well: roast pork, spicy eel pie, fermented cabbage rolls. But try this first. They have a peach jam in the centre that's to die for. Also, yes, nice to meet you, blah blah. Small talk, blah blah blah. Isn't the weather calm for this time of year, blah blah blah. Tell me everything about yourself. You're gorgeous, by the way. I probably shouldn't say that right away, but fair is fair. If I've got to go around looking this good, I should probably tell other people when they look as good as you do. Don't you think? Robin, pinches the bridge of her nose. How do you respond?
Oh, they're adorable.
How do you respond? Do you take the marshmallows and pull each one of them from the skewer and share them with Robin and Eudora? Do you take the skewer and eat and say, I don't spill my sad sack life story to every talkative stranger, but it is good to know that we rub shoulders with the God-blessed folk? Or do you refuse the treat and say, I tell you one thing, my life story has taught me not to take food from strangers, even if they are captivating. You enjoy them and share them with Robin. Or do you say, you take the skewer, have a bite, hand it to Robin so that they can all share it and say, thank you, that's the most delicious thing I've ever tasted. I've never met a God's touch person before. Your eyes are so beautiful, but then so is your hair and your markings and everything. And Robin, you're so tall and striking. Everyone here's so crazy good looking. As for my past, I don't even know where to begin, but I bet it isn't as interesting as listening to your stories about how you came to the mantle.
No, get out of here. Get out of here, mantle woo girl. We did that before. Not this time. Rude.
So you're either...
2 or 3, right?
You're either taking the treat and saying, I don't really want to talk, but it's good to know that there are God's blessed people in the mantle. Or you refuse the treat and say, you share it, I don't eat food from strangers.
Right. She's
it is super rude.
It's kind of rude. I don't think she'd be that rude. I think...
There's always the option of just taking them and sharing them and not really saying anything.
Number 2.
Number 1 is you take them and share it. You take one and then you hand the skewer to other people.
Yeah, I think 1. I think she's still figuring herself out, right? She's like, I don't know why I've made an intuitive, persuasive person who doesn't actually talk to people.
So you dithering between 1 or 2, they're just taking it and sharing it, or taking it, eating it, and saying, I don't really want to talk about my past yet, but it's good to see you.
I feel like 2 is, kind of honest. It's like, hey, I'm closed off in an upfront and honest kind of way. Or do I go number 1? Let's go number 1. Number 1 feels like a no response. Like you don't say anything. Here, there's more. They're the same kind though. But
let's see.
I would scribble it a bit. Oh, I'm gonna mess up this game because I'm just gonna change who Rue is.
Both of them smile and take a marshmallow as you cheers the treat and eat, savouring the delight of it. You look to Robin, so tall and slender, her raven hair tucked behind a pointed emerald ear, and you say, this bit if you want to.
Wait, what's her accent? It's like Agatha. So, were you here before Eudora then? How long have you been in the mantle?
Oh, a while, she replies, draining the last of her wine. We were just talking about how rare this is, to take on a full-time member. We don't crack out the good wine for any old recruit. She pulls a wine bottle from the table behind her and proceeds to top up glasses while she talks. Most people who claim to be part of the mantle are not full-time. They bear the mark, and they know our ways. But they could be anyone from an adventurer to a tavern worker. They do their piece of the puzzle, but you have to be very special to become one of us.
I'm honoured,
you say while sipping the smooth wine that tastes like blackberries. Well, part of that is because we live in the shadows. Outside attachments can complicate things. Most of us don't have parents or siblings we care to be in contact with, save our sweet Doria here. So it's a combination of talent, which we saw in you, but also circumstance.
Right, so it's because I'm an orphan. Okay, cool. Okay, yeah, alright, I get it.
Do you say, I look forward to getting to know you all better and learning the ropes?
Mm.
I always knew I was destined for something more than the gutters, that stealing and scraping by would pay off in the end. Do you say, right, so we're all full members, but the Silent Hood and Radcliffe seem to hold the biggest sway here? Or do you say, it's wild to me that anyone would notice my so-called talents. I was just doing what I needed to survive. I thank Saith and Oban every day that I'm here, though with you, with all you wonderful people.
Okay. I don't think she necessarily thinks she was like destined more than gutters, but I think I kind of like number 3.
You're already like figuring out.
Yeah, like trying to like, right, that's her thing, like being intuitive, trying to figure out what's happening.
She's got a cunning edge.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Do you want a different pen? I've got a Bic. Bic never goes wrong.
Shout out to our sponsors, Bic.
I'm also so livid. I bought these pens like 2 days ago because I thought we'll need pens like during this week. There'll always be a time when someone needs a pen.
Okay, so you've gone for number 3. They both look at you blankly. Eudoria says, "The Silent Hood is not always in Valmetten. We're lucky, as this is their base, but they spend months elsewhere looking after the other mantle bases. All our voices are heard here, though. No one is forgotten. But yes, Radcliffe is a close and trusted friend to the Silent Hood." After a brief moment of quiet, you continue. "There's a pleasant time is had." Wait, yes, I did do the scoring.
Oh God, how am I doing, Lydia? Am I?
Listen, I'm going to give you this for your own sense of expectations.
Yeah.
You don't get any cutscenes. You don't get any private moments until the whole end of Act 1.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Then Act 2 is full of all of like the little things.
But if I'm really fucking it, will you just guide me?
No.
No, not like. I mean, like. No, it's fine. It's fine. Oh God.
You continue talking with them for a while about how Robin has both elf and orcish heritage and their shared love of riding fast on the wild plains south of the city once in a while.
Oh, I love Robin.
Yeah, Robin's fucking great, isn't she?
Yeah.
Then you hear a booming voice calling you. Looking at the source of the sound, you see Lennon. His wild sea blue hair has a black and white feather tucked into it, and he is leaning his elbow on the shoulder of someone. "Come here, meet Suno." Suno smiles shyly at you. They have rich bronze skin and long, deepest mahogany hair and dark, sensual eyes. Gold jewellery glows from their human ears as well as their septum. Their face is chiselled and androgynous, and their expression is brooding but kind. "How are you feeling?" Lennon continues. "Just a few hours ago, you were picking pockets for pennies at the harbour." So, you just met Suno, who is a they-them.
Okay, I need
to... they-them.
I need to cut some of this stuff out. Let's just go with this.
Oh my God. This art gets me every fucking time. Oh, just scroll, you bugger.
Oh, okay. Oh, gosh.
I'm making it hard to pick who.
I love them all. Where's my polycule? Me and these. How many have we got?
Can you imagine how complicated making this game would be if it wasn't just like, here's 8 people to pick from, but also the infinite polycule possibilities.
Yeah. Let me have them all.
I can play Lydia describe me. She makes everyone sound the hottest. It's one of my most favourite things to do is actually to describe friends to other people. Do you ever really like doing that when you're like, oh, like, you know, my friend so and so, they're like a force of nature and they da-da-da-da-da-da. I love doing that.
Gosh, now I want to know what you describe me as.
You'll never know. So picking pockets for pennies in the harbour.
Oh, Lennon's so adorable.
Yes. How do you apply?
We hit £330. Yeah, Nikki, I'm really sorry. We can't see an update. Maybe I can like find a way to check. Oh my goodness. I'm just gonna see if I can find
330.
Oh my goodness.
For the smooches, we've not even had a single smooch
yet.
I know. And
oh my goodness, thank you so much. It won't let me. I can't see it. I'm real sorry. This is the one thing I've not got ready for the stream, is being able to see.
Listen, Michelle, I'm gonna say you need to focus on the smooches. You can't be looking at Tiltify right now.
I know. I also have to go let my real life partner in because he's stuck outside.
That was the attitude that she came with today, is like, I'm here for the romance and the smooches, and I'm just going to turn that key in the lock and make sure my boyfriend can't get in the house. Let him in. Let me in. Oh, guys, so far we've been introduced to Lennon, Seraph, Robin, the Silent Hood, Radcliffe, Eudora, and Suno. I don't know who her favourites are, but we know that she's partial to a Labrador, so Lennon, I feel like, is a strong contender, but Robin is also a strong... We're just trying to work out who...
Oh, who my...
Who your faves are so far.
It's tough, actually. I'm
going to say this. Remember last year, you it was down to 2, and you kind of, like, regretted...
Yeah.
You loved the person that you went with, but there was always that piece of you that was like, oh, I should have gone with the princess.
Yeah. So same thing is probably going to happen here, except it'll be all of them.
Okay, so picking pockets for pennies in the harbour. How many times am I going to say that? Do you reply with, it's hard to believe that now I can use my skills to help more people. It's a whirlwind, but I just want to learn the ropes and get it right from the start? Or do you say, I feel like it's about time someone noticed my gifts? Or do you say, you knew what you were doing when you brought me in. It seems like you need someone like me around here. Or do you say, it's just so overwhelming. It's so good.
Oof, this is tough. Maybe number 1.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's nice about that is that it is thinking about other people and, like, wanting to do good for other people, but at the same time it's got that edge of ambition because it's like, I want to do it right.
Yes. It's not like, it's not like there was another one that was like, all I want to do is help people. I don't think Rue is like, all I want to do is help people, but I don't think she's like, God, it's about time someone knows my gifts. She's just, like, been getting by.
So you're gonna go for 1?
And I don't think she's that cocky to be like, yeah, I'm fucking great. So let's do number 1.
Suno says nothing but raises a suspicious eyebrow, but Lennon cheerses you with a cup of honeyed whiskey. Someone after my own heart. Not everyone is here for the same reasons. Money and influence is nothing to be sniffed at, but helping people in need has to feel the best, don't you think? His brown eyes shine at you.
Aww.
Suno finally speaks. You should know that most of us were given the honour of trailing you these last few months to see if we all agree on your recruitment. Is it creepy? Yes, but necessary.
Really? What did you learn?
That on nights when you couldn't pay for board in a shelter, you slept on the roof of a bathhouse on the nice side of town because of the warmth from the steam rooms. You like to steal pies from Kolev's stall, which means you have good taste. And while you frequently save other street kids from the Custer's Club, you never made friends with any of them for some reason. And why didn't you make friends with the other street kids?
Ooh.
Is it... Do you reply, they didn't want to be friends with me, but that doesn't mean I don't help them.
Oh, no.
Number 2, they needed me more than I needed them. People can drag you down. Or 3, I feel more at ease with other people being in my debt and not the other way around. Or 4, you're right, it has been a lonely life, but I learnt young that you can help people and not expect anything in return, and perhaps the most heartbreaking lesson on the streets is that you're more likely to survive if you only have your own mouth to feed.
Okay. I'm liking 2 and 3. I think she has an edge of, like, being close to people. They can I don't think she necessarily thinks they can drag you down, but it's that little thing of 4 of, like, it's better on your own. But I think maybe 3. I think she doesn't like owing people.
Yeah.
Like, that's a dangerous position to be in.
Are you going 3?
3. Yeah. I feel more at ease with other people in my debt and not the other way around. There's like a little bit of honesty there.
Both of them furrow their brow at this. Suno says, life is about to get a lot more complicated than a social ledger of red and black.
Oh no, I don't think I liked it.
The party continues. You continue to talk for a while. You learn that Lennon has lived nearly their whole life out of the water, but his parents came from the ocean, and how Suno does not give trust and friendship easily, but is deeply loyal. And tattooed on their muscled forearm are the intertwined symbols of Wilt, the goddess of death, and Decimor, the goddess of devotion and heartache. Oh my god, I love Suno so much.
Oh, Suno!
Finally, they enthuse about their shared love of climbing the cliffs near the city when they have time off. Eventually, Lennon reluctantly says, we have monopolized so much of your time, and I see Seraph is offering to share her bottle of good Drowan with you. This is rarer than the blood moon.
Oh shit. Let's go, Seraph.
Theo, it's Seraph. I'd seen that. Yeah, skin on Seraph. Here we go.
Seraph time.
You go to speak to Seraph.
Yeah. Seraph's the tiefling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Red tiefling.
Black
hair, lots of gold jewellery. Smokes in the no smoking zone.
Yeah.
We're walking to the very smoky no smoking zone.
Yes.
You walk to a collection of low sofas where Seraph is indeed opening a bottle of the fine spiced liqueur. She seems even more beautiful now, the candlelight making her dark ruby skin glow. She has an onyx mark running from her lower lip to her clavicle that you'd not noticed before, and an armband in the form of a bright bronze snake curls around her slender bicep. Visible now that her leathers have been replaced with a tight-fitting top. She is sitting with a dark figure who is idly smoking. Seraph pours you a cup and says, you met before, but you weren't introduced. This is Uchedere Argent. He was at the Winking Seagull before, but you left too quickly to speak. The man is tall and slender, with a short, wild mop of inky hair. His face has unique markings on it. His forehead has an unidentifiable symbol in the centre, and his jaw and neck have more tattoos that might hold some significance that you don't know of. His eyes are black and gold and seem to shift colour, glinting with dark mischief. Black jewellery adorns his lips and brows. He wears black leathers and long she's gone. She's fucking gone. He nods to you nonchalantly. Seraph leans back as well, and the two of them are silent and powerfully intimidating for such a relaxed moment.
Okay, it's this. This is the polycule.
This is the two of them on a sofa staring at you. The Drowan is very good, sweet and syrupy and strong, and the many cups that you've consumed this night begin to go to your head.
Oh shit, okay.
I forgot to say, Uchedere.
Oh, how do I spell that?
It is, I'm glad you asked, Ucidere. His pronouns are he, him.
Good heavens. Right. Once again, I am in danger. That is right.
Uchedere.
Okay. Oh my god.
How do you reply?
Okay.
Oh no, hang on a minute, I've skipped a bit. The drone's very good, and you're drunk.
Sweet.
Seraph finally breaks the silence. I suppose everyone is talking your ear off already. That's good, I suppose. Neither of us are much for chit-chat. Do you reply, everyone's been wonderful? Do you say, they never stopped, I'm glad for a moment to smoke and drink in silence? Do you say, I enjoy letting people talk to me, not just tonight, but everywhere. People often say more than they mean to. Or do you say, I love good conversation with good people, and everyone here has been so welcoming?
I think 3. I think Rue's the 3 girl.
Yeah, like, talk.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
I like... again, it's that... I don't want to be in other people's debt, but people can owe me things. You know, like, I want to give nothing away, but I want to take everything.
As Theo puts it, that's okay. We don't need to talk.
Yeah, well, I was like, is there an option for just like,
Uchedere leans forward in his seat, seeming to agree with what you're saying. Seraph replies, I couldn't agree more. There is more silence.
Hell Yes.
After a long silence, the fiddle playing seems to change, and more instruments join in as various members pick up lutes and dulcimers, and the thrum of fine music seems in this round hall to come from everywhere all at once. Both Seraph and Euchedere stand and lead you to the centre of the room and begin to dance with you. How do you react? You dance with them, but you bring in lots of other people as well onto the dance floor. Do you dance and slink between them? You will not be bested by them. You show everyone that you're good at dancing.
Ooh, okay.
Or do you dance with them? Because dancing is a perfect opportunity to see like how lithe people are, how agile and graceful, and you watch to see who is watching you. We're starting to get an idea of who really is, aren't we?
Yes.
Or finally, you're not used to dancing and you're not used to making a spectacle of yourself, and it shows. It's really hard to hide your awkwardness in your steps.
Sorry, where's option 5? Start a polycule. 3, right? Yes. It's that intuitive, I'm going to watch and learn what I can thing. 2 was also good though, of like not being vested, but I don't think she doesn't want to show off how good she is. Maybe that's why she rolled poorly. That's why I rolled poorly. You know, let's see how other people act and have people underestimate Rue. Yeah.
So you're like dancing and you're watching and you're like seeing, and they match your dancing.
Ooh.
And you see a glint in Euchedere's eyes. He sees your game and is risen to the challenge, not only in his sensual grace, but he spins you around the newly forming dance floor as if he's showing you off to everyone in attendance.
Oh no.
The night draws on with more merriment and delight than you have partaken in your whole life. You meet more members as they roll in from jobs throughout the night, and when the sun rises, everyone goes roofside, and with so many members perched on different rooftops, you watch the sunrise. An explosion of colour over the horizon, catching the mountains and wilds to the east, and the glittering off the ocean in the north. And when you finally fall into your new bed, you are exhausted, but with a new sense of belonging and hope.
Oh.
You're a Mantle member.
I remember.
You wake halfway through the next day to the smell of toasting bread and fragrant teas. Pulling on your clothes from yesterday, they are your only clothes, you step out and walk to the main hall. There is no sign of the revelry from the day before, but several people are already up and looking at papers and plans. Stepping to your side, unheard, is the Silent Hood. Kate, still hiding their features from you, but you smell their scent, something akin to cedar and figs. We have good bread delivered and some pomegranates shipped all the way from Iridia. But if you're like some of us that don't eat first thing, there is coffee and tea. Help yourself and join me. I have something I'd like to discuss with you.
All right. Okay.
You do as you are bidden. Taking food still has an illicit feeling for you, but it is helped when Lennon hands you a small bunch of grapes to bulk out your breakfast and pushes a bowl of brown sugar lumps for your hot drink. You've done without for a long time. Let's move out of malnutrition, shall we, my friend? You take your plate and cup to a large round table that now sits near the centre of the room. You're not the only one that's eating, but everyone is engaged in planning something. The Silent Hood sips from a clay mug that looks oddly homemade and wonky. Have you heard of Mrs. Rebecca Pollingate? Roll a d6 and add intellect. We've not had a skill roll in a little while.
We've not, and intellect, I think it's an intellect of knowing real things, right? Like she's not dumb. Like she could probably learn things, but she's...
Oh, intellect is very much like intelligence rather than like it's... You got street smarts, but you've never been to school.
Yes,
so
yes, exactly. Yeah. So, like, why would I know who this person is? Like, even people she's stolen from, she wouldn't know. I rolled a 6! Let's go! Okay. Rue's not so dumb anymore.
You did some successful thinking. Click the button for successful thinking. You reply, oh, you can read this.
Um,
That says lensman, by the way.
I remember people talking about a lensman, Alfred Palingate,
Yep.
who ran Valmetten a long time ago, but not Rebecca.
A few people raise eyebrows at this impressive pull from the city's history. Rebecca's father, Alfred Pollingate, was lensman in Valmetten about 30 years ago. We've been gathering intelligence on her for a while, and we think it might be time to make some moves.
What kind of intelligence?
Radcliffe, who has been studying a map of one of the boroughs in the city, looks up. Lensman to a city like this is a thankless job, but well paid. The family lived well for a while, but when he stepped down due to illness and died, he did not leave much behind. The mother went soon after, and Rebecca has never worked a day in her life, but lives like they did in their heyday, always in the latest fashion, always at the theatre. Quite the lavish lifestyle, makes you wonder. The Silent Hood continues. Some of us believe that she has been making money in some corrupt way, but we don't know how. We do know that she visits the harbour master from time to time and leaves with a jingle in her step, if you know what I mean. We don't want to bother the harbour master unless we have to. Some battles you have to choose wisely. So we've had eyes on her manor. One of our people has a talent for estimating the plans of houses by watching from the outside. They take a grape from your plate that you've not eaten and pops it into their mouth. Fancy doing your first job for us? How do you reply?
Ooh.
It would be an honour for my first job to be bringing corruption to light. Or, sounds easy, and I bet she has her ill-gotten gains the way that you mentioned, so we could lift some pretty things while we're in there. Or, putting the newbie on a high-profile job. Does this mean you need a new face no one has seen before? Or, sounds scary, important but scary.
No. 3. I think she's becoming a 3 girl.
Yeah, she's a 3 girl.
She's not. I think she's not afraid to ask questions, which is probably why she doesn't have any friends. And I think, 3 girl.
That soft laugh ripples from the Silent Hood. Clever one. That will probably be the case at some point, but I thought you might want to get right to work on something important. The Silent Hood turns from you and addresses everybody. Okay, I think a team of 4 will be plenty. She has private security in the manor, and there are plenty of rooms that could hold intel, so it can't be a one-person job. That means stealth and swiftness are key. Our newcomer will go with Eucedere, Suno, and Eudoria. Enter the house from the 3rd floor window, and some of Eudoria's luck, it'll take you straight to the study. Look for further information and get out. Quick eyes, silent feet. They repeat back in unison. Quick eyes, silent feet. I've had someone lay some clothing options out for you. You may need a few. You may need to make a few adjustments. I don't know. The typos are crazy. It's almost like I'm dyslexic. You may need to make a few adjustments. And if nothing suits, then pick the closest for now and we'll get something tailored for you. Everyone here has made many, many adjustments to their work clothes. What is life if you can't have secret pockets, eh? We go after dark, so you have some hours to go through the things with your team and take a look at the plans. Now, this is important. You're going to pick your mantle outfit, and it affects your stats.
Oh, shit.
You can up one of your stats by 1.
Okay. Amazing. This is fun.
Okay,
Fashion.
first outfit.
Okay.
This outfit is far more revealing than some. It is better suited to somebody who uses their strength more. You know, there's like a lack of sleeves or lack of much of the top at all to allow your muscles to work and not be restricted. You'd get an extra 1 in physical power.
Okay.
Or, second outfit. This outfit is layers and layers of thin, supple leather strips that allow for quick movement. It is sleek and dark, and it gives you a +1 to reflexes. Or, outfit number 3. This outfit has a feather-light cloak and it has many great compartments for secreting away papers and books. It is elegant and ethereal, and it gives you a +1 to intellect. Or, this outfit is the latest fashion. A corset of flexible boning that doesn't impede movement too much, but it gives you a silhouette of the season. It is exquisite, and in mesmerizing, rich, dark colours that, while they do not catch the light, the velvets and raw silks are eye-catching, and they give you a +1 to persuasion. Lastly, this outfit is dark and mysterious, and the hood is structured so that your face can be obscured in shadow. The tailoring is very fine, and it gives you a +1 to intuition.
Okay, so I think the leathers, the giving +1 to reflexes, because she's not been great at that. However, she's been hired for intuition and intellect. Was that right?
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to. I mean, I'm not gonna influence, because what you could do. Yeah. Essentially, you know now that you need a 5 and above to succeed on skill checks. So if you ever have reflexes, you have to roll a 6 on a d6 in order to succeed. So you could affect that. Or if you upped your intuition, it would mean that it's like impossible for you to fail.
Yeah, that's one thing. So either make it impossible to fail on intuition, or I think
Scott is always one step ahead. See how the Silent Hood likes it.
Vibe and aesthetic too, yeah, for sure. I was either thinking pushing either reflexes or intellect up. And I think reflexes, let's stop having a negative, right? Also, she saw one guy in like blacks and leathers and went, yeah, that looks good.
I do feel like in making an outfit that is black leather, it's a bit like the time that you were Nyx and you had no money whatsoever, and you went into a shop and it's like, here's a brown leather regular thing, and here's 10 gold more, but it's in black, and you're like, fuck, Lydia, that's so rude. Yeah. Okay, well, you can't do it on screen.
I can't do it on here, but I can do it on here. So now this reflexes will just be a 0 as well. Ooh.
Yes.
Let's do that. Right? Does everyone think that good? That's good.
It is useful, I have to say, to not have.
And I also like the idea that that's the reason. God, my handwriting looks awful on here. That's why she's not been good at reflexes, because the clothes she's got are like, you know, they're trousers that's slightly too big, so they're having to be tied up with rope,
shoes.
and like the shoes don't fit right, and so it's just clothes that fit, so she can like move better.
Yeah,
let's go with that.
All right.
Okay.
So you have your new clothes. Mm-hmm. As the sun sets, the 4 of you prepare for the mission and slip out into the night. Uchedere scouts ahead, silent and agile, and when you catch up, he's perched on a rooftop, looking at the tall manor house on the other side of the road. It is a dark grey stone manor, not large, but tall, and it has 2 turrets. Not many lights are on in the house. You are handed a spyglass, and Suno points out to you. She is entertaining on the ground floor parlour, which could work well for us. The window here seems to be a good place to start. They point to a window on the 3rd floor. We can climb from that alley. You all quietly slip down and begin the plan, which starts with scaling a wall. Roll a d6 at physical power, or physical power. You've got 1. So add 1. d6 plus 1. Have you? Oh, you've succeeded. You have succeeded.
Wait,
that is a fail.
Oh, Agatha's no help.
Why did you think Agatha would be the one to help you in this instance? Okay, so you fail to climb. Try as you might, you can't seem to get a good grip, and you nearly fall. Suno whispers to you, "Stand on that ledge. We'll go ahead and drop a rope back." This does not feel like a good start. The humiliation of a rope.
Yeah. Again, you hired me for intuition and intellect.
When you reach the... Oh, hang on a minute. What was that? It was a 2 that you got?
Yeah, it was a 2.
Yeah. And who is seeing that?
Oh, no.
2.
Good heavens.
When you reach the tall arching window, Uchedere effortlessly swings round and looks closely at the fittings on the window, sliding an impossibly thin stiletto knife in between the panes and sliding a latch across. He looks across at you with a cocky wink and dives into the room. All four of you are crouching in this dark room now, and after a moment of perceiving that it is indeed a study, and that the door is only open ajar, Eudora stands and walks carefully around the room. They gently touch the surfaces, the corner of a table, the back of a chair, an ornament, and in the wake of their finger, a tiny mote of golden light is left. Not enough to draw attention from the outside, but enough for you to investigate the room, and you get to work. Drawers are opened, scrolls on bookcases are unravelled, and pocketed stacks of paper are read by the light of the arcane motes. Ledgers and envelopes and scraps of paper are all secreted away for later investigation. But you hear Uchedere hiss, "I'm not finding anything damning here. Ool, curse her." Then you hear a noise, footsteps climbing the staircase outside the door, and the low voices of people talking. All four of you give a moment's glance to each other and then dive to find a hiding spot. Suno slips out of the window again, standing on the ledge, only inches wide, but out of sight. Eudora tucks and slips under the desk, and Uchedere opens a tall door into a tiny storage closet. You look around but you find that there's no other hiding space. The footsteps are drawing closer, and you hear a low voice say, "I'll finish up this sweep of the house, and then I'll go for my smoke break." We need to.
God, I'm so
that meta needs like a no smoking campaign,
yeah.
But I'll see you on the back step. So, Eudora immediately extinguishes the lights that she placed. You have the span of a breath to conceal yourself. All three of your colleagues see that you are trapped with no hiding space, and hands shoot out. Who do you pick to hide with? Suno on the ledge, Eudora under the desk, Uchedere in the storage closet.
Storage closet. Immediately. Oh, it's so tiny in here. Oh no.
Okay. In one sprinting step, you launch yourself at Uchedere. He reaches round to close the closet door behind you. In the darkness of this space, you sense the effort in him trying not to touch you, but his breath caresses your cheek, and you are enveloped in his oud scent. You look at his face. A tiny ray of moonlight hits his face. His black and gold eyes glint at you, and his cocky and aloof shell is gone. The air between you is alive with the want of touching. Eventually, you hear the steps move back out and into the corridor. Uchedere pushes open the door and you step through, back into the study.
Oh dear. Rue's in danger.
As you step back into the room, you take a breath of relief. And you see that the door is still open. You see across the corridor something that catches your eye. It is a fake bookcase inlaid into the wall opposite, and it's standing ever so slightly ajar. You whisper,
Wait, no, that's wrong accent. If I was going to hide evidence of illegal income, it would be in a secret room, don't you think?
Eudora looks to where you're speaking of. It's too risky. Wait, what's her accent? It's Northern, isn't it? Yeah. That's too risky. Her security are walking around the house. If we're caught here, we risk her going back underground. Oh, I was about to do this, but and never knowing what scheme she has on. Doria's right, Suno adds. This is a very good spot, but it's also likely just the place to store valuables. She is partial to jewels and finery, after all. We haven't gathered much, but I think we have as much as we're going to get. Uchedere chimes in. If it's a safe, then we've gathered funds, which I might add is important, but valuables bought with dirty money is also evidence. I say we try. Now, roll a d6 and add persuasion to try and get them to say it's okay for you to go to this place.
So I need to roll at least a 3 on the dice to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, it's hard to succeed.
It's hard.
Oh no. 6 on the dice. 8.
Who sees that? You.
Right. That's the one I want to succeed on. I can be like, that is what you hired me for. You didn't hire me for my physical prowess.
This is you speaking here.
Oh, I'll go alone. I'm near enough that if I'm caught, I'm just a cheeky street rat and you can break me out of custody later. But it is worth the risk. This place smells like corruption.
Your line reading has suddenly gone on fire. I'm loving it. I'm loving your line reading.
It's gone from like...
Everybody nods to you. You remove the intel that you'd already had and you step towards the open door. Listening to the gentle sounds of talking and laughing from the floors down and whisperings from staff delivering food and wine coming up through the ornate staircase, you slip silently across the corridor and gently pull the false door open. Within is a small room of shelves and a basic wooden desk with an open ledger on it. Looking at the ledger, you see it is the real accounts of Mrs. Pollingate. You swipe it, along with a pile of letters next to it that seems to be written in a strange code. You do not have time to decipher it now. You just take everything and go. Your friends are already climbing out of the window and beckon for you to come with them as they descend the manor house back into the alley and steal off into the night back to the catacombs.
Yes!
Extremely good. Back at the catacombs, everyone stands around the table of the main hall with the evidence laid out in front of them. The Silent Hood looks to you. Tell me how it went. Now, how do you tell a story?
Ooh.
Do you tell a story in a way that makes your comrades sound great? Do you tell a story in a way that makes you sound great? Do you tell a story in a way that makes your comrades sound great, but nothing could have been done without you? Or do you tell a story exactly how it happened and share the glory?
Right, I'm going to say 3. Because they were all like, right, let's go. It was me that spotted it.
Mm-hmm.
Rue spotted the secret thing, and Rue was the one that was like, I can risk it. So they all did their job, but like me.
Ooh, okay, so you succeeded to go into the secret room, so you get this. Roll a d6 and add intellect to see if you can decipher that code on the letters that you got.
Scott, shut up.
That's really true.
We don't mention that bit. Okay? We gotta impress the Silent Hood. Intellect. Ooh, 3. I can't figure it out.
Hours pass in the hall of the catacombs. The cipher is very difficult, and you wake up after falling asleep over the letters. Radcliffe Murden is sitting next to you. He has taken them and has solved the code. He shows everyone that Mrs. Rebecca Pollingate does indeed have an ambitious racket going on. She has employed a band of sea elf bandits who attack ships, forcing them to dock in Valmetton rather than the main port in Dawn Valon, which is Port Aldmec. God, all these city names, Lydia, honestly. She takes a cut of the bandits' gains because she keeps them furnished in the odd magic weapon and good armour. And she takes a cut, the docking fees, from the harbour master, who sees all those attack ships into dock and fix them up at a high cost. All the evidence is immaculately parcelled up by the Silent Hood and Radcliffe and sent off to the current lensman of the city. A few of you slip through the streets to watch the arrest from the shadows. Custers drag Mrs. Pollingate from her home in front of her guests, and you buzz with a feeling of justice. No money was made for this first mantle mission that you went on, but you do have a semblance of justice. And
We'd
that
like
will keep you fed for days. The next day, you are brought to the halls of the catacombs again. Everyone is already there, waiting for you. The Silent Hood stands, face in shadow as always, but their countenance is relaxed. With the successful finishing of your first job, we would like to officially welcome you and give you the mark of the mantle. Nervously, you look around you, but you find only smiling faces. Even Seraph and Uchedere look at you warmly. You step forward to the Silent Hood, and everyone else in attendance circles around you. Only other members of this secret organisation can see your mark, but it will show those that can that you are committed to the secret and important work we do. No person in this fair land is hidden from our eye. No corner of Dawn Valon is obscured from us. We steal back from the immoral. We topple the power mad. No glory, no names in storybooks. Fast eyes, silent feet. As the people echo that last line back, the Silent Hood steps forward and places both hands on your shoulders. A warmth runs through you, not just the sense of belonging to this strange cloaking that this strange cloaked person gives you, but a tingling feeling like the sun catching your skin on a summer's day. When they step away from you, you find that your shoulders now bear a glowing mark, like a mantle around your shoulders, ending partway down your bicep and along your shoulder blades, gleaming with quiet light like stars from a night sky. Looking up again, you see that everyone around you also has this same mark, indeed something you couldn't see before this moment. You look back at your leader. They stand before you, straight-backed, and you feel a sense of pride radiating from them. Congratulations, Mantle member, and welcome to the family.
Aww.
It's the end of Act 1. I'm going to do some maths.
Do some maths. I need to pee.
Can you wait until I've done the maths? Otherwise I'm sitting here and...
Oh, yeah. No. Do your math. Okay, how are we feeling? Act 1 done. Rue is developing. We like her. I think she's kind of clever. She's trying to work everyone out. Gosh, I think everyone is hot. That's the problem. Lennon is adorable, but I think he's too sweet for Rue. Seraph is just chef's kiss. Robin, I really liked Robin. Robin was the half elf, half orc, I think. Buff green woman, which I liked, but I don't think she likes me. And I don't think Lennon likes me. I don't think he likes the not so niceness of Rue. Silent Hood. I just hope the Silent Hood likes me. I'd romance them if I could, but as long as they like me, I'll take it. Radcliffe. I think Radcliffe hates me. Scott, why do you want to throw Silent Hood off a roof? Silent Hood is great. I love Silent Hood. Radcliffe doesn't like me, I don't think. He's hot. He leans in doorways, but he doesn't like me. Eudoria is too sweet again, I think, for Rue. Suno? Is it Suno? Am I pronouncing that right?
Yes,
Suno. Oh gosh, they're great. I really like them, but I think they're a secretly sweetheart, and again, I don't think it's. I don't know. And then, how do you say his name? Uchedere is tasty. I think he likes Rue's. I think he likes all the number 3s.
Cunting fuckballs.
I'm winning. Silent Hood talks in poetry, but I bet they fall on the stairs and spill their milk. Yeah, maybe. But, maybe they're just human. I like the Silent Hood. I think they're cool. I want them to like me. I want them to be like, well done. Who's everyone's favourite so far? Who's obviously Theo? I know your team. Sarah, hot tiefling woman. She's great. Scott, you're also team. Robin is a babe, absolute babe. Got that real tough. I don't take no shit, but not quite. I'm gonna smoke in a no smoking area, which is kind of like it. Like, I'm not gonna take any shit, but I will respect other people. Sweet, you're biased because you've played it. Seraph is wife material. Yeah, I think just give me Seraph and Uchedere, Polycule, and maybe Robin, and maybe Lennon as well, because he's adorable. I do love him. Yeah, Lennon. Ugh, Lennon's great. Lennon is a golden retriever, as is Eudora.
Wait, that is not right.
Just say they're all in love with me, Lydia. Sarah Robin. Yes, exactly. That's what you want. I could stab you, but if I like you, I will stab anyone who hurts you. That's, yeah. And I think Seraph and Chidori have that vibe as well. Kind of. I'm hoping. They also might be the kind to just stab us in the back, which would be heartbreaking, but fun.
Sorry to take so long. I'm nearly
No. Do your thing. Yeah, like, that's what I like about Lennon. Like, someone who's really sweet and sort of golden retriever energy, but also, no, I'll fuck you up if you're, like, I will fight. Which is kind of, I think, why I went to look to him. Yeah, I agree. Oh, God, we're only act 1. There are 3 acts. Also, it's already like nearly 3 o'clock and we're meant to wrap up at 4. I know.
Don't fucking say that.
So there's a chance that we're just going to overrun because I want to get this finished. You're nearly done, guys.
Okay.
Keep yourselves talking while I pee.
The results are real interesting.
Oh no.
Real fucking interesting. What were we saying here? Yeah, he protect. I've got to say, it's people keep asking me who are my like test players. Who do I like? I have a weird like feeling about a lot of them. That's like I'm just so happy when they get. I'm so pleased for them when it all works out for each of them. Do not cancel. God, the computer was going to shut down. It was asking me if it wanted to shut down. Lennon is sweet, but also don't touch me. Are you asking Lennon not to touch you? But what else are we saying? Listen, the points, man. The points after Act 1. I've never seen the like before. I have only run this game twice with games testers, so it's not that hard to do.
Okay,
right.
I'm back. Let's go.
Okay. It is now late summer in Valmetton. A heatwave has made the grimy streets of the city dusty, and flies cling to the clammy skin of its citizens. Tempers have run high, and not even the cool breeze from the ocean can cool them. It has been 4 months since that night with the Silent Hood, when they gave you the mark of the mantle and brought you into the family. You have thrown yourself into the work with a comfortable bed, a fed body, and friends at your back. You have excelled at a life of underground machinations and stealth missions. Now, which of these jobs that you've been involved in was your favourite?
Ooh, this is fun.
So I'm going to point out, you did all of these jobs.
Did all of them, but it's which one is her favourite. Okay.
First job. After finding that a children's home was putting the orphans to work for long hours during the day and night and selling what they made for personal profit, the Mantle not only had all the staff arrested, but forged documents handing the organisation over to a wealthy couple who lost their children in the SEEP epidemic, and now the home is safe and a comfortable place for children, and people now visit and adopt children every day. That's option 1.
Sweet.
Option number 2, you got a tip-off about a Yorick. A Yorick is a Custer. A Custer is a policeman. Jesus, Lydia. But the Yorick has like advanced combat training. Who is murdering people savagely and framing innocent individuals for it. Like a shadow, you stalked the predator and slit their throat. And you worked alone in this job.
Ooh.
Or you went undercover in a tavern and fooled people into telling you hush-hush entrances and codes to get into a secret club where people were eating endangered animals. When you raided the joint, you found damning evidence of the consumption of sentient creatures, and you used it to blackmail anyone that wasn't arrested on the scene. Or finally, you caught wind of somebody who was conning elderly people out of their homes and leaving them destitute. You worked overtime after the arrest to find all the living victims and get them back into their homes.
Okay, I think it's 2 or 3, because I think she would have enjoyed the outcome of all of them, but 2 and 3 have a strong she did something. Like I said, 2 was completely on her own. So I think 3.
Cool.
I think that thing she spoke of earlier, like she likes to have people talk to her and then find things out. She went and did that. And it's like proof, and that's what resulted in it. So I think that's why that's her favourite, because I think that's her favourite thing to do, is just sit there and be like, tell me everything.
Okay, now you've tripped into some private meetings. I'm going to say this. First meetings, you can smooch whoever you want to smooch.
Yeah.
Nobody gets jealous. It's not that kind of vibe.
Okay.
You will know when it is time
To choose.
to, like, pick.
Okay.
Now is not that time.
No, it's just, cool. Let's go smooches! Do you need me to not look?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna drink my coffee.
I cannot believe the time has flown. Okay.
I know. We're gonna get as much done as we can.
It is late in the evening, and you have been tasked with studying blueprints of various political buildings in Valmetten for a job you are planning. You take a bottle of wine and a goblet to the archive rooms of the catacombs. Rows and rows of shelving with scrolls and carefully organised papers. You scour the racks for the right documents. Turning a corner, you see Uchedere, draped on a couch, with a small book in his hand and a cigarette in the other. You say this.
Wait, what's... Right, is smoking in here a good idea?
His heavy, lashed eyes look up at you, glinting gold in the dimly lit room. He says nothing, but pulls a drag from his cigarette and lets his eyes return to the book. You return your attention to the shelves.
Uh-huh.
Before you have the full collection of blueprints, you hear Uchedere step up behind you. Turning, you see his wolfish grin as he picks up your bottle of wine, and draining the last from his cup, he pours out wine for both of you, and he holds the cup aloft. Wordlessly, you cheers and drink. His eyes do not leave yours. The wine is not the finest in the Mantle stores, but it's oaky and strong, and he sighs as he tastes it. You pick up the small book that he was reading, and the spine says, "The Kindness and Cruelty of Selina Argent" by Otome Crete.
What's this? Argane? That's your family name, isn't it?
Uchedere keeps his eyes on you as he takes another sip. You've caught me in a routine moment of private self-indulgence. His head tilts back, just a touch in minute challenge. Selina Argent was my mother. Otome Crete looked after me for most of my life. And for a while, the sales of this silly little novel kept us in fine leather boots and Osteroth Fizzen. You sit down, flicking through the pages of this well-thumbed book. Uchedere leans on the table next to you. You feel his hand on your chin, lifting your face to look him in the eye. My mother was a vampire. He watches you, stare penetrating, looking for any motes of contempt. When he finds none, he continues, slowly, stepping carefully through his story, ready to bolt at the first sign of danger. In her life, she was beautiful. More than that, she was royal. Before the Valstinas, her house ruled. She was not likely to sit on the throne and took every opportunity to live the delights of privilege and nobility. Her wild ways crossed her path with a vampire who made her his. For centuries, she was a wondrous scourge on the landscape, taking what she wanted and laughing at the world with blood on her teeth. But she came to the edges of what immortality could give her. She found herself longing. It is hard to say what she was longing for, but she believed she longed for the trappings of life again. the things that make a life. Maybe she just longed for change. Whatever she felt that having a child would make her feel alive again, and she looked for ways to make it happen. And so I was brought into the world. A little immortal, a little vampire, a little royal, but all out of time and order. You move from your chair so that you can perch on the table with him, drinking wine. His eyes look more black than you've ever seen them before. She was cast out by her sire for becoming a mother. We lived together for a time, moving from city to city. We met Otome in Port Aldermed when he arrived from a far-off land, also a vampire, looking for people to call home. My mother would never stoop to make him a lover, no matter how hard he wooed her, but she would let him be a father to me. We had 70 happy years, the three of us, until she died, was killed.
There's a more. I'm sorry.
He takes a swig from his cup and flashes you a thin smile. Well, she was seeking change. I'll try and be happy for her. There is a brief pause when you see a golden glint come back to his eyes. Well, I saved you a few hours of dreary reading. You've heard my story, or part of it. It seems like so many lifetimes ago now.
Oh, how did you go from that to being here and part of the Mantle?
You look at his many tattoos.
These look like a novel unto themselves.
No, you get no more from me. You have a way of making me lose my footing as it is. You'll gain no more ground from me this night. Do you continue as a friend, or as more than a friend?
More than a friend! You made male leather. I'm in.
You give him a challenging look. I think that's you. Yes.
You? I can't imagine anyone destabilising your pretty feet.
He looks at you, searching. For a moment, you almost think you see beneath the polished veneer of wit and smoke. You stand, putting space between you, and straighten some idle scroll on the racks. In a split second, you are surrounded by his oud scent, and you feel his breath on the back of your neck. Do not play with me, he growls out. You turn to find him so close. He is careful not to touch you, but there is a feral look in his eye. He leans into your ear and says, "Tell me I can touch you." There is barely even a whisper in yours, and your response is barely more than a nod. But in a flash, his lips are on yours, pushing you up against the shelves. You pull him close to you, all crushing passion. The night is long, and you do not look at the blueprints.
Hell yeah! Scott!
Scott!
Scott in chat just said you have to allow vampires to enter. Not wrong.
Oh my god. Okay. That was
Okay.
smooch number one.
Smooch number one. Okay, let's go.
Okay, so back to the story. Okay. Actually,
Oh, have I got another?
you have got another. I was going to stagger them a bit more, but then I was thinking you've actually got like a little do-do-do.
Yeah, let's move over. You cheddary. Vampires are all about consent. Yeah, you're right, Theo. Good for them. We love that. God, you cheddary.
On an evening when the mists roll in from the coast and cloak the streets, you have taken to a tavern named the Anchor with Seraph. Your mission is simple. To observe two people you've been told are conspiring to press gang vulnerable people into the fighting pits. You've been told they meet here every 3 days without fail. You both arrived a few hours ago. You took a table in a dark corner and you ordered a bottle, enough Drowan to last the night. Seraph is not in her usual fighting leathers, but in a tailored black jacket with a high collar and thigh-high boots. It is as close as she gets to blending in. She enjoys her favourite blend of smoke leaf that gives off a sweet herbaceous scent. You break the silence. There's quite a lot of talking in this one. Do you want to go through?
Okay.
It's also very small. Sorry.
Is it? Yeah, thank you. Suno tells me that you leapt from a 4th-storey window onto someone trying to make a run for the docks.
A smile slowly tugs at her mouth, showing her gleaming teeth. Sure. She extinguishes her cigarette. Couldn't let him get away, could I?
Oh, of course. Risking your life over some arsehole.
She quietly cackles at your sarcasm.
I guess I'm just pointing out. I don't know.
My recklessness? Yeah, you wouldn't be the first.
Okay, I'll drop it.
She pours a little more of the syrupy amber liquid into your grey mug. Placing the bottle back down on the table, she takes a swig, shifts herself on the padded bench you are sharing, and pins you with her hauntingly pale grey eyes, like the ocean mists. Her tone is changed now. At first you wonder if she's play-acting at an intimate conversation for the pretense of the stakeout. With her elbow on the back of the bench and her head resting on her palm, she speaks. My parents were bottom-of-the-barrel nobles, before the fall of the Valstinas, insignificant, overlooked, unremarkable, and apparently unable to get any kind of business off the ground. One failed attempt at prosperity after another. So when they discovered they had a little one on the way, my father saw an opportunity. He took that brilliant mind of his off and did some research and performed some slapdash ritual and made a deal with an entity, the soul of his unborn child, for fortune for the rest of his life. Her eyes blaze with contempt. You have an instinct to lay your hand on hers, but you know her well enough just to let her speak. The deal was good. The very next day, a ship he had invested in that had sunk off the shores of Delasay was found, and by people that felt compelled to give it back to its owners, no less, asking for no reward. Everything he touched seemed to turn to gold. They bought a very fine townhouse in Odon and became, finally, noticed by their peers. When I was born, the unmistakable features of hell radiating through, my mother wept, briefly, into her silk handkerchiefs, and then diverted herself with climbing the social ladder. What a life of fortune my father led, his whole life, that lasted one more year before he was murdered in the streets by a stranger out of his mind on Kirsur. Kirsur's a drug.
Aragon, take them. That's a dirty fucking trick.
Well, not really. You make a deal with the devil without the smarts for fine print and, well, what do you expect? She drains her cup and pours more. I have no way of knowing who the deal was made with or how to bargain for my soul back. I know my soul is bound for an eternity in hell. I get one life, just a few short years, and then... She keeps her eyes on you. So, if I want to fill that time with feeling the wind in my hair as I drop 30 feet on some piece of shit child exploiter, I think that's a good way to pass the time. Do you respond as friends or more than friends? More than friends! Oh, this is you.
Seraph, I would do unspeakable things to change that for you. You deserve everything life has to offer, and peace at the end of it.
She searches your eyes as if trying to find the trapdoor in it, the sarcasm or the trick, but she finds only truth. Then, the moment is broken by seeing in your periphery vision one of the people you're spying on. They are walking right towards you and their eyes seem to be looking in your direction. In a flash, Seraph swings her body round and is straddling you, her lean legs pressing either side of yours. We cannot engage with them at all. We have to look occupied. Her hands are wrapped around the back of your neck and her face is so close to yours that you are just inches from her lips. Do you freeze because you don't want to complicate your friendship with Seraph, or do you kiss her?
Oh, kiss. It's for the job. It's for the job.
It's for the job.
It's for the job.
I'm only being professional, okay? You gladly grasp the moment and pull her into a kiss, fierce and passionate. Long after the man has walked right by you and into the toilets, you separate. She looks at you, knees still either side of your legs. Her eyes are more vulnerable than you've ever seen them before. I should have done that months ago, like I wanted to. Now, do you respond that you just want to stay friends? Or do you say, well, it seems like we've got time to catch up on. This isn't the commitment moment. It was just because I wanted to do a catch because I didn't want you to feel, it felt a little bit like you were coerced, so I wanted to make sure that you were like,
you could be like,
Yeah.
that was a mistake. Yeah.
I was just being
I
professional.
can't say for the job anymore. Look, we've got time to catch up on. She's, she wants to live a life. Who am I to stop it?
It would only be polite to a tiefling who's gonna have an eternity in hell. So you say, well, it seems you can say it.
Well, it seems to me that we have some time to catch up on.
And you kiss her again. Knowing you've already gleaned as much as you can from your targets, the rest of the night is spent in each other's arms, kissing and drinking and singing sea shanties with the locals.
Oh, cute!
Yeah.
Hell yes.
Hell yes.
Oh, come on, stop flickering. It can't handle the spice.
Okay, so back to the story, for God's sake.
Sorry time. Okay, I'm just going to put a little, just so we can remember. We've got a little heart here. And that one there. I don't know why it says Sepaf, but Seraph. Yeah.
In these months, the Silent Hood has only occasionally been in Valmetten. Though you understand that there are many branches of the Mantle all over the kingdom and your influence is very far-reaching, you're not privy to the motivations and movements of the Silent Hood. Radcliffe Murden sometimes goes with them and sometimes acts as like interim leader. Mostly you all work well, running the outfit, keeping ears to the ground and acting where needed. One summer afternoon.
Ooh.
It is a mild afternoon, and you are returning to the catacombs after collecting intel from a contract when you are met by Uchedere, who's running towards you through a busy main street. We have to get to the Callous Cove immediately. Radcliffe's orders. Something's going down. How do you reply? Absolutely, let's run. Careful for the crowd, though. You nearly knocked a child over. Or, let's go. Did Radcliffe ask for me in particular, or is everyone going? Or, what's this all about before I go anywhere? Or, let's go. Should I bring anything? Do we need armour and weapons?
What's all this about? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you might trick me again.
Trick you again? Trick you again?
Look, have we got 10 minutes to make out, or do we have to go now? It's all I'm saying.
Jeez, the scores, man.
Oh no.
A low chortle rips out of him. I asked the same thing, but I don't have any more information. I don't have any more information than we all need to get there as soon as possible. The two of you sprint through the streets, west, out of the city and onto the plains. There is barely a breeze, even though you're so close to the cliffs that lead to the Ephedral Ocean. As you cut across the field of long grasses and wild flowers, you see, to your left and right, the other members of the Mantle running too. Lennon, Eudorius, Seraph, Robin, Suno. You have all been called to this well-known smuggler's cove.
Alright.
Nearing the Callous Cove, when you draw near, all of you find a place to hide and peer down the cliff edge to what is happening below. You are laying flat on your belly amid the tough, long grasses. A ship has pulled up as close as it can to the cove, and a longboat is pulling up to a ramshackle jetty. There are figures. Though they are a few hundred feet away, it is unmistakably the Silent Hood, their grey cloak being tugged by a wind that whips around the inlet. They seem to be talking to a thick-looking man. Both senses of the word.
Okay.
While people in heavy chains are being pulled onto the longboat. The man pulls a heavy purse and gives it to the Silent Hood, and they part ways. The man onto the longboat and back onto the ship, and the Silent Hood ducks into a cave. You talk about what you've seen. Turning back to your fellow Mantle members, you say,
What is this?
Uchedere hisses back. Radcliffe gave us no explanation, but that we had to stop a wrongdoing. Did I see a child chained up? Was the first flurry of whispered volleys from Eudoria. Seraph crouches nearby and pulls her hood over her horns. We do not deal in people. It is revolting. We have to stop them before the boat goes. Lennon stays her with a hand. The Silent Hood would never work with the slave trade. There has to be an explanation. We have to ask. Ask, she spits back. Asking means that the boat will be long gone. The ship is full of people who've been sold. Can you live with that? Suno has already turned, ready to run further round the cove. You cannot act without knowledge, Seraph. We have to find the Silent Hood and find out what we need to stop. Robin moves to Seraph's side. Don't be naive. We saw the evidence with our own eyes. The proof we need is on that boat. Did the Silent Hood themselves not teach us that all evidence from someone's mouth is not as good as evidence gathered from objects and what you've seen with your own eyes? We go down there. If we are fast, we can stealthily swim to the ship and find out for ourselves. We certainly are not sent here urgently to speak to the Silent Hood. So, everyone's splitting up.
Okay.
Do you go on the mission to the ship, or do you go on the mission to find the Silent Hood?
I think Rube agrees with Robin. I think we go on the ship and we find what's happening.
Okay.
Here's my thought though. If I was gaming it, I feel like Rue should do the other one because that feels like it will be insight and persuasion, whereas this one's going to be like
so it's
power
like
for swimming and
it's
stuff.
sort of how much you trust the Silent Hood as well.
Oh right, yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, does this mean I don't trust them?
It is a calm day, but the swim is hard. You hear the sound of sailors calling to each other, readying the vessel to move, as you quietly slip from the water and up onto some rigging on the side of the ship. Please roll a d6 and add physical power.
Right, you were not. I wasn't hired for this. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. It's a 3. It's not my fault. It's a 3. Oh no.
Your leathers are now sodden with seawater, and it requires a huge amount of strength to pull yourself up on the rigging. By the time you join your friends, they are already looking through portholes, and you don't see anything. Seraph says that they saw some people in chains being taken, and that you should try and slip into the captain's quarters and look for evidence. Please roll a d6 and add reflexes to try and stealth into the captain's quarters.
Okay, remember I've got a nothing though to this one now. I have to roll a 5 or a 6 to succeed. 3.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Can I reroll? Can I have advantage?
For why?
Because look at her, she's so cute. Like, oh no.
You quietly jump onto the deck of the ship, trying to avoid the eye lines of the people working on the deck. Oi! Who are you? Roll a d6 and add persuasion.
Okay. Look, I roll high when I don't need it. I roll a 5, so that makes it 7.
You draw up as much confidence as you can muster, and you look at the sailor with incredulity.
I'm part of the deal, you fool. I'm overseeing their welfare on them. Of them.
You nod your head down, hoping that they catch your meaning. All right, I didn't realise. Well, you'd better... But before they can finish their sentence, chaos breaks out. Noises of screaming and fighting, and ragged-looking people start to spill out onto the deck. Some stay and get in as many blows to their captors as possible before joining the rest of them, jumping ship and swimming to the cliffs. You feel a tug on your hand, and Robin is pulling you to the edge of the ship. When we opened the cages, they bolted. We have to get out of here and back to the catacombs.
What about them?
Look, I don't know what's happening here, but these people aren't sticking around to thank us. Go! You leap from the ship and swim to shore. The freed people have already run to the plains and are not looking back. Dripping wet and staggering back up the cliffs to the city, Uchedere simply says, "What have we done?"
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
The main hall of the catacombs is abuzz with people bickering, pacing, or merely standing rigid. The Silent Hood strides towards the central table, and flings the bulging coin purse onto the table. It lands with an almighty thud, and coins spill out. There must be thousands of gold in there. There is a silence as everyone stares at the money. Finally, the Silent Hood breaks the silence. Their voice is harsh. "You all nearly cost us dearly today. All for the lack of trust in your leader." Silence again, this time broken by Seraph. "We have always trusted you, but you also taught us to be questioning people who lean on hard evidence. Did we jump to conclusions? Perhaps, but I think you would rather have a mantle that does not follow you blindly, but whose devotion is to integrity first." Silent Hood whips their head to regard Seraph. "This is a betrayal." These are not the actions of people with questioning minds. You acted before you had answers. They take a deep breath. No, I cannot trust you with the truth. Silent Hood steps forward again, the point made, and begin to collect the money up again. Wait! Euchedere's quiet voice rings out through the shameful silence. Radcliffe called us to the cove. Why? This still doesn't make sense. I cannot speak for Radcliffe. I sent him to the capital this afternoon on a mission. I will go tomorrow and speak to them of their intent in this matter. I can only think he called you mistakenly think I needed help or rescuing. Right, roll a d6 and add intuition. You got a 10 off from
5. So 5 is still a success.
Oh, of course, because it's intuition.
Yeah.
Successful insight.
Still a success.
Something in their voice rings out to your instincts. There is more to their suspicions of Radcliffe, but they don't want to speak about them now. The evening draws in.
Ooh.
No one quite knows what to do with themselves. The Silent Hood leaves soon with the gold. People pour drinks and hold their heads in their hands. Eventually, though, the conversation moves away from the confusion of the day and on to the future. For you, though, this day marked the beginning of the end of the family you had grown to love.
Oh no!
Okay. One second.
Oh my god, okay. Oh goodness. More like Ratcliffe. Absolutely, Scott.
Okay.
Oh no.
You have
another smooch?
Some second meetings. Now, second meetings are like, shit or bust.
Okay.
And
so it's like is it like
you
the
got to
proposal?
pick now. Yeah,
okay.
You got to pick now. I'm going to say this for your help.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go in order of highest score first because I think that helps a little bit sometimes.
Well, if I get the highest score, will mean that I then
they like you the most.
Should we not go the other way so I can reject and go to the person that likes me most? Or
all right, your preference.
Well, is it like
you don't? Basically, if you commit to somebody, you just don't get the other one.
Yes, exactly. So the person that likes me the most might be the person that I pick, and therefore
it depends if you want to have a rejection. If you want to reject people.
Oh, that's true. I don't know if I want to reject people. That's true. Let's start with the highest. Okay. Oof. Okay. Yes, Theo, importantly, I did side with Seraph. She's our gal. Oh, God. Oh, no, I don't want to reject anyone. Yeah, thanks. That helped a lot. I wanted to hear them both, or whoever they are, but I didn't want to reject.
Okay. It is almost dawn, and the blur of sword and fist is fast. Last night, you had gone to do a quick job with Euchedere outside the city in Little Meton. On the way back, you were both jumped by half a dozen muscled highwaymen, the smell of rancid whiskey on them. They have the numbers, but not the skill. And you had almost bested half of them when one caught you on the side of the head with a club, and you are thrown to the ground. You see only a flash of gold eyes in the dark and the sound of a low growl before you briefly black out. When you come to, you smell oud and feel Euchedere's arms around you. Thank goodness. Looking up into his face, you see blood dripping from his mouth and watch his expression change from warm relief to something cold and unreadable.
I'm fine.
You say quickly, feeling the lump on the back of your head. The hit had not even broken skin. You have been in worse fights, even before joining the Mantle.
Is that me?
Yeah.
Tush, that could have been bad.
You look around and see bodies strewn about the road.
By Andraste, Euchedere, you finished them all off?
He is up now and standing rigid, stock still. I thought You start moving the bodies off the road, but Uchedere stops you, wrapping you in their arms, the solid, lean muscle of their chest against you. That's you.
I'm fine, I promise.
I see that now, he replies, and holds your face in his hands. The moon is still bright in the sky and illuminates half of his face. You know, I'm not one to fawn or paw on someone, but you have bewitched me. Now,
I love a bewitching.
are you going to commit to Uchedere, or are you going to let Uchedere go?
Oh, I'm committing.
It's Uchedere?
It's Uchedere.
He's your guy?
He's my guy. I'm going with Uchedere. Look, Seraph's great, but I'm going to leave that for Theo. I love Seraph. I'm not rejecting her though.
No. And also, you're friends with everybody.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, everyone just goes back to being friends if
Yeah.
you don't commit to them.
Oh, okay, cool. That's
You
fine.
hold his glare, trailing your fingers over his jawline to his lips.
It is you that is a witch. I cannot even see anyone else but you.
His eyes darken, and you see a momentary flash of teeth as he takes hold of you, sweeping you from the ground and wrapping your legs around him, pressing you against the trunk of a tree. By the time you make it back to the catacombs, the sun has well and truly risen. Oh,
Hell yeah.
that's your man, and you're sticking by him.
Yeah.
Okay. Part 3. We're in the final act.
Okay.
Okay.
We're doing good for time. We've still got like 30 minutes left, so.
Cool. As the
Oh,
warm...
wait, sorry.
Hello, ladies.
Can you... There you go.
As the warm days turn cool, you do not slow in the work you do for the Mantle. Of the following jobs, which are you most proud of? We're doing that
Ooh,
again.
yes.
Okay, so, number 1. You heard of a small outbreak of the seep in the slums. You help with quarantining and send food and supplies to the people inside. There may be no known cure, but we cannot abandon the infected. Or, you were instrumental in planting a mole within the harbour master's office so that you can always have an ear to the business going on in that place, something that has not been possible until now. Or 3, you discover that residents of a whole street in the poor side of town is being evicted because a wealthy landowner wishes to build a mansion there. You find compromising information about them and let them know that you will scatter flyers with the information around all the cities of Dawn Valon unless they cease their development. Additionally, they sold the housing to the Mantle, so now you get to collect money, however meagre, on the dwellings. Or, number 4, by chance, when travelling to a meeting place just outside the city, you are jumped by some highway robbers. Again, you and your colleagues beat them soundly and followed their tracks back to their hideout and discovered a cave full of riches. One of your companions suggests that you split the riches just between yourselves, but you insist that it's brought back to the catacombs and put in the main fund.
Oh, I mean, it's 3, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, get over on a landlord. Yeah. Let's fuck up a
Get
landlord.
over a landlord.
Get over-
Become a landlord.
Become a landlord. Yeah, but then you can like charge very little.
Yeah, also you're then rent controlling it really, really low.
Yes, exactly,
Yeah.
and it fucks over other landlords.
Okay, one winter's night. The tile under your bare feet is cold and slippery from the rain earlier in the day, and though you're running swiftly across the rooftops, your breath billows out in front of you, leaving brief clouds of punctuation in your wake. Part of your elaborate outfit catches on a chimney and yanks you back. You down your inappropriate attire and rip the trailing fabric from your body. You see the dark shape of your quarry getting away, leaping from building to building and behind a partially slanted rafter. You curse as you resume your sprinting. You cannot let him go. This is too important. 5 days previously.
Oh.
It is a chilly winter midday. The massive hearth has been lit in the main hall of the catacombs, and many tables of steaming pots of tea are on them. You're poring over plans and blueprints. Blueprints and talking animatedly to the silent hood with some of your colleagues about the upcoming job. The job. And this is High Corlia itself hiring us. Oh no, that's you. Sorry, you say it. I thought that was Robin.
And this is High Corlia itself hiring us,
you say, and the Silent Hood nods. We do quite a lot of work for them, but it is rare that they need a team of this size. They hand out gilded invitation cards to the people around the table. The Winter Sun Gala. The only social event that brings the upper echelons of our society to Valmeton. And even then it is a bit thinly attended compared to some in bigger, tamer cities. A few members of the High Corlia will be in attendance, and we have intercepted intelligence that tells us that someone will try and assassinate Minister of Justice Sage Starken at this year's gala. Robin, who is lacing up her soft leather boots, chimes in. Do we know why? Good question. Alzaren Sage Starken has sent a great many people to prison and even to the gallows in their time. However, we believe the motivation is related to the upcoming High Corlia vote on law reform. In a month, they vote on changes to Dawn Valon's citizenship. And, let's say, some people would tip the vote by any means necessary, so keep an ear out for extreme nationalist views. Oh, goody, Robin replies flatly. A team of us will attend the event with cover stories, and a team will be in the streets as backup. Suno, Eudoria, Seraph, Euchedere, and Rue will be our inside team, known from here on out as Team Satin. Lennon, Robin, Radcliffe, and myself will be Team Buckle in the streets. Team Satin. You have 4.5 days to learn every inch of the Briny Mists Manor, where the gala will be, as well as social customs and your cover stories. Once in there, our aim is to take the assassin or assassins out of play before anyone knows anything. Sweet! Eudoria interjects while already looking at the blueprints of the manor. What if we need to take them out in public? Well, keeping Sage Starken alive is our job, and has larger ramifications for Dawn Valon that I'm sure I don't need to explain. However, we have worked long and hard to stay a secret organisation, and not only would that potentially out one of us as a member, but it indicates that we work with the High Corlia. Part of our reach to every corner of Dawn Valon is about not having visible alliances or political or moral views. I think this is you.
Right, so no room for error, save the minister's life, and if we have to do something public, we better have a good way to cover our tracks.
The Silent Hood nods. You mull over the information that you've been given so far.
Do we have time to get clever outfits tailored?
But then, your question is interrupted by the entrance of Radcliffe via the bell tower pole. Landing lightly and stepping gracefully forward, you see he's flanked by someone else. A young woman with blonde hair and quick brown eyes. Then another, a man with grey skin and pronounced canines. Then another and another, till Radcliffe is flanked by 7 people, strangers to you. Everyone at the table turns and is immediately on guard. Hello, friends, is all he says as he runs his fingers through his hair and sidles up to the table and looks at the plans. Euchedere, looking at the newcomers up and down, snaps, What the fuck, Radcliffe? Who are these people? Radcliffe remains looking at the plans as he says, They're Mantle, Euchedere, calm yourself. I recruited them myself. They're just from other branches. We're about to pull off a major job for our government. I thought I'd bring capable people to have our back. The grey man pulls at his collar, and sure enough, the glittering mark of the mantle is plain as day. You look to the Silent Hood, who is standing stock still. They say nothing, but after a pause, they turn back to the table. How thoughtful of you, Radcliffe. They can work alongside you and the rest of Team Buckle. I was just sharing our plans with everybody. Radcliffe claps the Hood on the shoulder and takes himself to the side of the hall and pours drinks for himself and the newcomers. How do you respond? Do you say, disconcerting as it is, more people is a good thing, right? Or, this is fucked, at least they aren't Team Satin. Or do you say, I don't mind showing these out-of-town family members that the Valmeton branch, what the Valmeton branch is all about? Or, okay, anyone else find it a bit odd having strangers in the catacombs?
I think number 2. This is fucked.
It's fucked. At least they're not Team Satin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
fun mint. Oh,
They're nice, aren't they?
They're real good.
The silent hood stiffens and replies too quietly, "You are not competitors." I'm choking on the mints. "You are not competitors. You are one sibling hood, no matter where you are from. You can trust them."
Right.
You work diligently over the following days, getting as prepared as possible for the night of the gala. The new members that arrived with Radcliffe, sure enough, they prove themselves useful, collecting intel, preparing and helping with plans. Getting nearer to the night. Okay. You are told to pick out an item and matching attire that are going to help you on the night of the gala, knowing how you're going to plan to execute the mission. Pick an item and outfit. Now this is going to give you another additional boost,
okay.
But the other thing that it is, it completely, each of them also trigger what you do.
Okay.
Like what you're planning, because it's
Okay.
basically like you've made a plan about how you're going to go about the gala, and then you pick the outfit. But in this instance, instead of telling you what you're going to do, I'm going to tell you what the outfit looks like. So you either go +1 to persuasion, which is like an extremely risque outfit with perfect colours for the season. There's a fan that is like it's one of those things where you communicate via a fan a little bit.
Yeah.
Or you go with intellect, which is extremely chic, and it doesn't have so many like trappings and accessories, but you do have these beautiful long gloves with treatment on the fingertips so that you can turn pages really quickly.
Oh, it's like if you're planning to look through. Yeah.
Or you go intuition. This outfit is less tailored than some of the other outfits, allowing room to breathe. It comes with a delicate, wide net veil that, though it doesn't impede your vision, it does help you surreptitiously glance at other people in the room while having a conversation with someone else. I always imagine this is like one of those silk dresses that you can only see your form when you move. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's not like, that makes it sound like one of them's a Hessian sack with a net that goes over your head.
No, I'm with you. Like...
So those are your three choices: persuasion, intellect, or intuition.
I feel like...
Can we pick a collar bomb for Radcliffe?
Yes. I was kind of leaning towards persuasion. I thought that sounds quite fun. Like, she's going to be kind of persuasive. Or intuition. She's already kind of good at intuition. But that would give her a +4, which would mean she couldn't fail an intuitive check. So maybe we go intuition. I feel like that is what she'd want more, like to like the netting and like looking at people.
Yeah. Okay. You go intuition so that you can like sense and kind of get an understanding of what's going on, which means that your intuition is now 4.
Intuition is 4.
It is the night of the gala, and you and the rest of your team walk up to the steps of the Briny Mist Manor. The event is packed with notable people, not just from Valmetten, but neighbouring regions and the capital, Odon. Everyone, from nobility to well-respected business people to famous performers, up-and-coming heroes, and, indeed, you see the Minister of Justice, Alvarez Sage Starken, engaging in nervous small talk with another minister. By some double doors, one of the many balconies that encircle the ballroom. I won't lie, in my head, it's just the ballroom from the Dragon Age Inquisition.
Yeah. Let's just use that for that.
You glide in, the picture of a sweet young philanthropist. You move around the room and avoid direct conversations where you can, so that you can more easily watch people around you for anyone that seems to be behaving strangely. So, here we go. Roll a d6, add intuition.
So I've got
she can't fail, but what does she get?
A 3, so that's a 7 total.
You engage people in different conversations and you learn a great deal about the people in attendance. At one point, you're engaged with several people on the subject of the dances you've seen people enjoy that night. There is a man opposite who makes a few off-colour remarks. And when you take a moment to really take him in, you see that he is sweating profusely. Tell me about it, babe. And his eyes are shifting from person to person. He excuses himself from the conversation and you watch him make his way over to one of the many balconies that I've just spoken about. You follow and find that the doors are locked. Roll a d6, add reflexes, because you're trying to pick a lock without being noticed.
Okay. She's got leathers all underneath this dress, this Hessian sack. That's a 2. She can't do it.
I forgot to say that's actually quite an important one. It's fine. It's all going to be all right. The minister's not going to be assassinated. It's going to be okay. You stand with your back to the doors and attempt to pick the locks with your hands behind your back. And though the locks are fairly simple, the effort of trying to do it unnoticed is too difficult. You see Eudoria and Euchedere across the room, and you flash them a subtle look that you sense that something is afoot.
I can't get in.
Then you step towards your colleagues and quickly speak, trying to exchange information about who you suspect may be the assassin. Suddenly, Seraph's hand shoots out to stay your conversation. She is looking up at the eaves of the ballroom, and following her eyeline, you see the sandy-haired man that was sweating profusely before, squatting on a ledge high over the heads of the guests with a bow in his hand, arrow knocked straight at the minister. You hear Eudoria simply say, "No!" and then the arrow is released. Without a second thought, you leap at this elderly man and knock him off his feet. I knew we'd get elder abuse in here somehow. Knocking him off his feet, and you hear the clatter of the arrow hit the floor and skitter amongst the feet of the people. You look at the rafters again and you see that man disappear out of a window. Hearing your colleagues help Minister Alvarez up, you hear a whisper from Euchedere, "Go! I'll tell everyone you were drunk and try and sell it on the way out. Don't let this be for nothing." The chase. Lydia, you wrote this. D. D. Come on now.
Right. Oh, by the way, this one roll is really important, but you've got nothing to help with it. And again, when I was deciding what to do for my things, Lydia was like, "Don't worry about like reflexes. It's not like you won't be." I think
what I meant was like you don't like everybody's. You're kind of good at everything. It's not, But anyway, maybe I should have said that.
Yeah, it's fine.
So the chase.
Yeah.
You've dashed out of the ballroom. They're going to work out a cover story for you. You've got to chase this assassin.
Yeah.
The tile under your bare feet is cold and slippery from the rain earlier in the day, and though you're running swiftly across the rooftops, your breath billows out in front of you, leaving brief clouds of punctuation in your wake. Part of your elaborate outfit catches on a chimney and yanks you back. You cast your inappropriate attire and rip the trailing fabric from your body. You had cast off your rigid, restrictive shoes off 3 buildings back. You see the dark shape of your quarry getting away, leaping from building to building and behind a partially slanted rafter. You curse as you resume your sprint. You cannot let them go. This is too important. This is your city. For better or worse, these rooftops and streets have been your home for so long. You have the upper hand on this man. He might be strong, launching himself across wide gaps between buildings, but you've lived and breathed every inch of Valmetten, and you begin to close the gap. Looking to either side of you, you see the silhouettes of the other team scattered about and running too, skillfully herding your quarry. Behind you, the voice of Radcliffe rings out. "We'll trap him in the spires of the Temple District." And looking behind, you see him running a few steps behind you, his crow flying next to him. When you turn back, you see that you are so close now. A few well-placed steps, avoiding loose tiles that you know are ahead, and you could be within reach. Roll a d6 and add physical power to tackle the assassin.
Right, we need to roll a 4, 5 or 6. We've got 50-50 chance of doing this. But it's me rolling, so 25% chance of doing this.
What is it?
Oh, it's a 3!
Okay. With the space between you so close, you launch yourself at them. It is not enough. Your hands reach them, but you do not have the force to knock them off course. Slamming down on the tile, the wind is knocked out of you as you tumble. And when you finally regain yourself and try and hitch your body round to stop yourself from rolling off the roof, you're moving too quickly. You suddenly realise you're about to fall.
Oh, God.
The drop would be 50 feet to the ground. As you feel the slate disappear under you, you wait for the sickening drop. But what you feel instead is a sharp yanking sensation in your arm. Looking up, you see the face of Radcliffe, his hand grasping your forearm. "I have you," he says.
Oh, Radcliffe.
Radcliffe pulls you up. Scrambling up, with Radcliffe's help, you collapse again on the tile, breathing heavily. Wispy clouds streak across the sky, and your laboured breaths billow out above you. Somewhere across the rooftops, you're aware of a scuffled ambush as the other team leaps on the man that you were running for from the turret of a temple. Radcliffe helps you up to standing. They've got him. They'll take it from here and hand him in.
Thank you for saving me.
I know that's hard for you to say.
Yeah, like, oh, thanks. Oh, thank you.
His sapphire eyes flashing and his crow settles on his shoulder. As I said, I have you. There is a slight pause between you and them, and you hear a call from below. Look, your part here has been done. Let us take it from here. I'll see you back at the catacombs, my friend. He claps you on the shoulder and winks at you before taking off over the rooftops again.
All right.
Finally, back in your everyday leathers, a compress on the odd bruise you took that day, you relay your story to the rest of the gang over a well-earned drink. You hear a voice from the main hall and you make your way through. The Silent Hood is there. Some tables have been moved to make space in the middle, much like the first night that you were recruited.
Aww.
Slowly, people filter in from various corners of the catacombs. Not just the core set of people that you usually run with, but nearly all the people that comprise the Valmetan branch of the Mantle. The Silent Hood speaks. My family. The Silent Hood is as always in their soft grey cowl and dark gloves and leather trousers. They stand tall and proud and address everyone in an uncharacteristically loud voice. Tonight was a success. Despite some minor scuffles, we completed our mission. Not only did Minister Sage Starkin live to see another day and hopefully vote in the upcoming law reform, but myself and the supporting team found some stragglers that were helping him. So we get to hand over the assassin, and we now have intel on a radical group looking to undermine the multicultural nature of Dawn Valon. Something to continue working on. Some cups of wine are being passed out as the Hood speaks, and gentle cheersing erupts at that. The minister sends his thanks, and has given us a handful of very special medals of valour to give out. A whooping ripples through the crowd, and the Hood indicates for quiet again. Normally, these would be pinned to you in one of the ceremonies performed at the palace in Odon, but, well, we all know that isn't going to happen. You will have to accept my gloved fingers instead. The Rising Sun Medal is given to those who have gone above and beyond to help the people who shape this land. For many, this stripe of coloured metal glinting from their lapel, wherever they go, would be a point of pride. For us, our medals sit in jewellery boxes and drawstring bags. But they do serve as good reminders that, for those that matter, our work is recognised. Not just the ruling classes, but people out there that need us to fight for them, need us to protect them, need us to advocate for them. These, they hold a pin aloft. It is a strip of metal divided into 3 parts. The top part is pure, gleaming white silver. The middle is a rich, deep gold, and the bottom strip is black titanium. These baubles could be dismissed as the trappings of those that look away from the needy and chase glory and reward. I ask you to see them as a representative of every thank you you've never been given. When we stop crimes before they occur, and are gone before people can become victims, when citizens are put back on their feet and never get to see the hands that lifted them up, when eyes cannot see in the dark and do not know who saved them from highwaymen, let this little pin be a thank you from them. Cups are raised. Now, we have only a few, so I think it's only fitting, given the events of tonight, that the awards of the Rising Dawn are given to Rue, Seraph, Uchedere, and Radcliffe. They look out over the heads of the crowd. I can't see Radcliffe. I think he must be still with the assassin in lockup. He can pick his up later. Rue, step forward. Some space is made in front of the Silent Hood, and handing your cup to the person next to you, you step forward to receive your award. Fast eyes, silent feet, they say in a soft voice meant only for you. You reply,
Fast eyes, silent feet.
They take a step forward and their hand reaches out to your neckline of your leathers. Then suddenly, they stop. Stock still. For a moment, you nervously laugh, not understanding what's happening. Then you see it, the tip of the sword protruding from their sternum. Impossible. You stand dumbfounded, in shocked silence, just like everyone else in the room. Droplets of blood fall from the shadowed cowl of the silent hood, and he says one last word to you. Run! And then slumps forward onto their knees. Behind them, stepping out of the shadows, is Radcliffe Murden, a wild, triumphant smile stretching across their face.
Lydia! Lydia! Lydia.
The hood is dead. Long live the king.
He yanks his... get out of here.
He yanks his blade from the back of your leader, and they collapse on the ground, lifeless between you. The hall is completely silent, and suddenly things seem to move very slowly. You see someone next to you, a young woman that's been in the mantle for more years than anyone, launches forward, pulling a dagger from her belt, but before they can even try and strike him, she is stopped in her tracks. His blade whips out and slices her throat. She staggers back again, grasping her neck, and is caught by several people. Suddenly, chaos breaks loose. The grey man that Radcliffe brought in steps to his side and draws his sword, and people start to run, some forward to attack and some back to escape. You stagger back for a moment, trying to collect yourself. Radcliffe, stepping over the body of the silent hood, looks straight at you and begins to laugh. Roll a d6 and add reflexes to evade Radcliffe.
No, I'm rolling. So d20. What's my plus to attack?
Get that d6 out. At least you don't have a -1.
Okay. I have a 0. I roll a 5. Get fucked, Radcliffe. Get fucked.
A successful dodge. You leap away and you hear the ching of the blade clipping one of your metal buttons on your shirt. Radcliffe pulls his sword back, ready to swipe again. You stagger back into the crowd of people away from the flurry of attacks. Everyone seems to be running in different directions, and you realise there are more of Radcliffe's people that were brought in amongst the crowd, and chaos of clusters of violence are all over the hall. More people drop down the bell tower pole. People you've never seen before, but who have the mark of the mantle. You have to get out of here. You hear the hood's last word ringing in your ears as people barge past you. Who takes your hand in the chaos? I think we know because we've committed to him.
Uchidori.
We're going with Uchidori in this final act.
Oh, Uchidori! Please survive.
Oh my god. As the screaming starts to ring out from people being struck down, the panic starts to set in, and you nearly put your hands over your ears just to be able to think for a minute. This way. A cool, pale hand takes yours and you look up to see Uchidori, a thin streak of arterial blood across his tattooed face. You follow him through the crowd, weaving in and out of the chaos. Uchidori takes you to an exit to the city streets through a narrow tunnel. Once in the tunnel, it is so dark you can barely see him in front of you. Just hear their breathing and the touch of their hand in yours. You come to an intersection. You know from experience that going one way will take you north towards the docks, and the other way will take you to the very centre of the city. You turn to head to the harbour, but before you is the blonde woman.
Oh, this bitch dying.
The light of the moon streaming in through a sewer grate and illuminating her malevolent smile. You turn and sprint down the other passage. Roll a d6 and add physical strength.
Oh god, I'm gonna die. I can't roll.
Sprint, sprint, sprint.
5, so that's a 6.
Successful fleeing.
Okay, where was all this earlier? But I'm happy. I'd rather it now. I'd rather it now.
You sprint. Your legs are so tired from running the rooftops tonight, but you dig deep and you find the strength. Uchidori's light feet are behind you. Finally, you come to a grate that will bring you out not far from the town square at the centre of the city. Scrabbling up the footholes carved in the stone, you lift the grate and pull yourself to freedom. As Uchidori follows, you look around the small, dark street and you roll some barrels and crates over, so as soon as he's out, you drop the grate and you put the crates on top of it. You hear thumping from the blonde woman, but they soon fade. Glancing about to make sure you're alone, you fall into each other's arms. You're hurt. He pulls back and starts looking you over, tearing some of his shirt and pressing it to a cut you got along the way.
He killed them.
You say numbly, and Uchedere gathers you back into his arms. He killed them, he echoes. How do you respond? Are you okay? Or we don't have any time for this, we just get to safety.
Oh goodness. I think there's no time for this.
Let's go.
We gotta go.
He takes your hand. You're right, one of our safe houses. You look about you at the empty streets of Valmetten in the early hours of pre-dawn. You look at him.
The Winking Seagull. It's not far, and it has weapons. From there, we have to think about either keeping our head down till this blows over, or getting out of the city.
You both take off, hand in hand, towards the Winking Seagull. Slipping through the streets, dipping from one shadow to another, you get to the back door of the tavern where you first met the silent Hood and Radcliffe. The thick timber door is ajar, and Uchedere turns to you with his finger over his lips. Stepping gingerly through into the storerooms of the tavern, it is silent, but there are signs of a struggle.
Oh no.
You walk through to the bar and find the gnomish owner of the establishment slumped over a barrel, blood pooled beneath them. You rush forward and put your head to their back, but you hear no heartbeat. Looking up, you see Uchedere further in, standing stock still. He seems to be looking through the door to the back room that the mantle kept for meetings and weapon storage. Treading round to join him, you see a single candle illuminating the windowless back room.
Oh no. Oh no.
Listen, I'm sorry, this is going to be rough.
Okay, one strap in.
Before you is Suno, lying on their back on the table, eyes open and sightless. Blood drips from the table. On the floor, by their feet, is Eudoria, her pale hair matted with blood. On the other side of the table is a man, muscled and wearing very fine armour, unbuttoned at the top to illuminate the mark of the mantle. They are looking right at you. Behind them are two other people similarly dressed. This is easy work. You guys just keep coming to me to put you down. Roll a d6 and add persuasion to distract.
Oh my god,
I'm really
Lydia.
sorry. I'm really sorry, guys.
Can I have advantage? If someone donates £5, can I have advantage?
No, that's not.
Wait, what's our donate that? If we're at £500, I get advantage.
Unsuccessful pleading.
Oh god.
You glance to the exits and what stands between you and them, and you feel that you could just do with a small head start. You say this.
What can you have been promised? To think that killing other mantle is why we wear the mark?
Why don't you shut up and die already? They launch forward, and you and Uchedere make a dash for the door. Running through the streets, you see that Uchedere was caught by the weapon as you fled, and fresh blood leaks through their leathers. Chase through the streets.
Oh.
Dashing through the cobble streets, you look back and see only one person has followed you. Roll a d6 and add intuition.
10. I think that should give me something. That's the maximum amount anyone can get.
Through your panic, you clear your mind. This is your city, your rooftops and cut-throughs and secret passages. This person cannot best you at running the night in Valmetten. You weave through the alleys and up onto roofs and down through tight passages in the slums, and eventually you get yourself to the northern side of the city. You feel confident that you have lost them. Clutching each other in the shadow of an alcove, you try and plan your next steps. We must plan. We can't give way to it all just yet, Uchedere says, but he has a faraway look in his eyes. You stroke his hair, his face, and you bring him back to the present and away from the haunting images of dead friends. This is you.
It could be safe to say that our safe houses and stashes are all compromised. The city is lousy with Radcliffe's new fucking order. We just have to get out of the city and hide. The only way to the mainland safety is by ship, otherwise we would have to deal with the Haglian Wilds, which would probably be a worse death than Radcliffe's sword.
Yes, the harbour. I doubt it'll be empty, but we could steal a boat big enough to sail round to Port Aldermat. We have a plant in the harbour's master's office. Maybe we could stow away in a bigger vessel.
Let's go and figure it out when we get there. I feel better if we had even one weapon between us.
Uchedere looks at you and he pulls his black hood over his head and says, "Oh, I have a secret stash at the docks. I never told anyone about. There is almost something of Uchedere's old dimpled wickedness, but he pulls his face back into focus once more, and you take off towards the harbour. It can only be a few hours until dawn, when people will start to wake in the city and fill the streets with bakers and market stall owners that get up early. Racing through the streets to the harbour, you have to duck and hide several times from some of Radcliffe's people swaggering through the city, looking for members of the old order. Eventually, you see the cliffs around the bay and the lighthouse peeking out in the distance above the buildings, and you know that you're close to the harbour. You crouch by some railings that lead to the Briny Mist Manor, and you look along the last few feet of the main street and beyond the harbour. Uchedere leans close, his oud scent mingling with the iron tang of blood. I see 3 walking the docks and a candle lit in the loading warehouses. We need to make a plan that will get us on a boat and out of here without any direct combat. Roll now. I'm going to tell you this in advance. Yeah. You've got to roll a d6 and add intellect. This is an important one.
Oh, okay. So can I have a +5?
So make it a good roll as one. So.
I have to roll a 5 or a 6. I have to. Can I have advantage?
No.
5.
Yes. Successful planning.
Okay.
You scan every detail of the harbour and buildings, thinking of every option. This is you.
If we stealth straight onto any cargo ship, we run the risk of it not leaving for days and being trapped, or even being sailed off to some far-flung land. Again, being trapped in our hiding places with no food or water for... Well, it would be bad. We have to get to the harbour master's office and check the logs. From there, we could either commandeer a small vessel and just go, or tuck into one bigger that is destined for Port Otome.
Uchedere nods and adds, "The office is too exposed for direct approach. If we swing round and slip into the water, we can get closer to the dock with the office built on it." You nod at each other and you start to prowl to the water's edge. You edge your way to the very far side of the bay, and silent as eels you slide into the frigid water. Uchedere swims ahead, silent, scouting, and you follow in his wake. Finally, you are below the dock with the office on it. You see him pull himself up the back side of the dock and the office wall, being careful to be silent. The window is painted over, but you grip the sill. He grips the sill with one hand and fiddles with the pane and slides it open and looks back at you to follow. You pull yourself up and drag yourself sodden through the window inside. With one movement, you are through and crouching on the ground, seawater immediately pooling around you. The first inklings of warm dawn light illuminate the room. As Uchedere follows you, you look up and see, behind the cluttered desk, Radcliffe, a dark smile across his face, sapphire eyes glinting in the dim light. You lunge for the door, but you are met by a wall of people staring back at you. They shove you back in and close the door again. You are trapped.
Lydia, I thought I did a good job at planning.
You did a real good job. You are all just so predictable. The idea that any of you thought you had a mind of your own is pathetic. Every one of you had the same plan. His eyes flicker behind you. You turn and see the crumpled forms of Robin, Seraph, and Lennon. Seraph is slumped against the wall, a smear of blood running down where she slid. Robin is lying on the floor, as if hurtled, and Lennon fell on top of her, as if he tried to protect her at the very end.
Lennon! Oh my god!
A pitiful groan is pulled from Uchedere, guttural and rough. You look to Radcliffe. Why? This is you!
Why?
Radcliffe looks at you for a moment. The Hood had one thing right. Any organisation like ours has to be united. I couldn't risk anyone opposing me. You glance around the room for something to help you, but Radcliffe just laughs softly. You never give up hope, do you? Even now, when you have no chance of seeing another day, you are still trying. I guess no matter the training, you can't press out the street rat. You'll always be a grimy little rodent looking for a crack in the wall to squeeze through. This is you.
You could have killed me hours ago on the rooftop with the assassin. Why didn't you just save yourself some time and let me fall to my death?
He stands now, his crow flapping to his shoulder. His smile grows wider. And miss the look on your face when I killed the hood. That sweet delight of all your faces in that moment. That will stay with me for a long time to come. Get him, Michelle.
Michelle is jumping into this world and gonna kill him.
Uchedere steps to your side now. He takes your hand and holds his head up high. What are you waiting for, you slimy little prick? If you're going to kill us, you might as well get on with it. Radcliffe nods to someone outside of the window, and several people walk in. Well, thank you, Uchedere, I will. Seeing as you are weaponless and so completely in the palm of my hand, I've decided you can be useful to me. A massive woman wearing a helmet and a man in plated leathers grabs you both and ties your hands behind your back. In a heart-wrenching moment, Uchedere breaks free and throws himself down on Seraph's lifeless body and weeps. His sobs are a final release of what neither of you could let in until now. He succeeded, and your family has gone. The woman yanks him up by his hair and lands a terrible slam of her fist into the side of his head, cutting off his cries. You scream out to leave him alone, but they all just laugh at you as you are dragged out onto the docks.
No, Uchedere. Lydia!
Radcliffe walks ahead of you, his crow circling above him, the water of the bay catching the pink of the rising sun. It was a sound, if incredibly obvious, plan to take a boat to Port Aldermet. It's only a few days' ride by boat. You could slip into the crowded city and be lost from my reach. Well, I'll grant you one last favour. You'll go to Port Aldermet. I'll strap your dead bodies to the figureheads of 2 boats and send you off to let everyone there know that there's a new king of the Mantle. You see people at the end of the dock with ropes and a winch and 2 ships, and someone hands Radcliffe his sword. You look to Uchedere panicked. But where you expect to see sorrow and fear, you see hope. The helmeted woman has one hand on the back of his neck and is walking next to him, and what she doesn't see is the dagger in his tied hands, minutely sawing at the ropes that bind him. You school your face in neutrality. Now, roll a d6, add persuasion. You have a good time speeches, I'm so sorry.
5.
Yes! Successful persuading! Okay, you turn to Radcliffe.
Oh, please, I beg you. Let me have one last kiss. Who knows where our afterlife will take us? I know there is no mercy within you, but by the grace of Desamore, give us one last kiss.
He turns idly, swinging the jewel-encrusted sword. I'm not sorry, you're right.
You're not. You're really not.
He nods to the people gripping you, and you look to Uchedere. He steps forward, and you see him feign a trip and stumble into you. His kiss is clumsy as he blunders into you. Radcliffe watches on. Gross. Right, let's get on with this. The sun is rising. It was enough. The dagger is in your hands now, and you take only a second to cut your ropes. Looking at each other, you take a deep breath. Uchedere gives you a nod, and you wrench free of your captors and leap from the docks into the glittering water. As the water roars around you, you hear shouting from the surface, and you look around you for Uchedere. In an instant, he is next to you, and you kick as hard as you can to swim away from the docks. Arrows whip into the dark water around you, but you cannot stop. You swim underwater for as long. You have to swim underwater for as long as you can to be out of range. When you finally pop your head up above the surface, you see people scattering off the docks, heading for places that might get a better shot of you. Radcliffe remains on the end of the docks, his eyes burning through you. A promise, a vow that you will never be free of him. You turn and swim. The water gets choppier, but you have to swim straight out into the unforgiving ocean. You do not stop swimming until you find yourself at the Callous Cove, where the 2 of you drag yourselves up onto the beach and collapse into each other's arms. You hold each other. Uchedere grips you so tight and weeps.
They're all gone.
That's all you can say. Eucedere pulls back and kisses you, a crushing, desperate kiss. We are not. We survived. And we have to keep living now for them.
For our family.
You reply and kiss him again. But you know you cannot tarry here too long. You pick each other up and you head out towards the cave system in the Smuggler's Cove. Knowing it leads out into the plains far west of the city, your only chance of evading Radcliffe's people is to lose them in the mountains south. It is an unforgiving wilderness, with no towns and cities for miles and miles, but you know a city would be thick of the new order of the Mantle anyway. So you head off into the mountains in the distance. What life comes next is unknown, but at least you have each other. The end.
Oh my god, Lydia! They survived though! Oh.
They survived.
I thought you were gonna make me do you just keep rolling until, like, eventually you'll get got. It doesn't matter. You're just prolonging it.
You got enough in there. Guys.
Oh my days.
There is a new order of the Mantle. Radcliffe rules it.
Radcliffe is
Thank you so much, guys, for this wonderful light-hearted stream on a Monday lunchtime.
We were promised smooches.
you got some smooches.
I didn't get many smooches.
You didn't get tons. I tell you something. Your scoring was extremely interesting because Eucedere loves you so much. Never has, like, no. You got over 100 before you, because essentially you have to get over 50 to get the first meeting and over 100 to get the second meeting.
Okay.
You were over 100 before you even got the first meeting. That
guy
is fucking hot for you.
Yes, that's what I want.
But it kind of rubbed some of the other people up the wrong way.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Who didn't like it?
I tell you, your lowest score was with Lennon, which was minus 35.
I love him, but he just wouldn't like
not your cup of tea. Not your cup of tea. He's like really wholesome and like he's very altruistic.
He's like just good.
Yeah,
just the goodest boy.
Funnily enough, right behind, because it went Eucedere, Seraph, right behind was Eudora. You only just missed out on a little smooch with Eudora.
Oh, Eudoria's cute.
And also, not a million miles behind that, Radcliffe.
No.
Imagine.
Did he like the cunningness of her?
I tell you, here's the thing. Radcliffe likes sweet people.
Yeah.
Because he can manipulate them more. But following on behind that, he likes people who are like a little bit like clever. Like a little bit
cunning.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. He was like, I like that about you, but I can't manipulate that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah,
you can't, dickhead.
Yeah. I mean, Seraph was really, really hot for you as well.
I did love Seraph. I got a feeling that, like, unintentionally, Rue and Eucedere were just, like, made for each other.
I think so too. Yeah.
They had a similar vibe.
Yeah. Guys, we've overrun by an hour and a quarter. Massive apologies.
15 minutes.
Were we meant to finish at 4?
Yeah.
I thought we were meant to finish at 3.
No.
That's why I was panicking so hard.
We were meant to finish at 4.
Okay. I'm proud of myself.
Yeah, we've done great.
We did start at 1, right? I have no sense of time anymore.
I want to see if there's some way I can check bloody stuff.
Bloody stuff. Do you want to do it on here? Would this be better?
1 second. Nikki?
Yeah?
How can I check donations?
It's 330 still.
Okay, has anyone donated?
Good job, everyone.
During the stream?
Zan did.
Oh, thank you, Zan!
Thank you, Zan.
Thank you so much. I just want to say thank you.
One of our games testers.
Yes, thank you. Who did Zan romance? Seraph. Yeah. Seraph. Oh. I do too, Dee. I do too.
I don't know what happens if you try and date Radcliffe Simons. Yeah.
I imagine he still does the same thing, but maybe there's like you get a slightly different, like, those final moments. He says some
I
different stuff.
mean, maybe at some point you'll find out. It's a good cutscene.
I really want it. I want the cutscene.
You weren't a million miles off, but you just needed a little bit more.
I wouldn't have done it. I'd have immediately said no. Fuck you.
I don't think that you would have. I think I
No,
wrote that scene really.
Yeah,
that scene was real hot.
Yeah, I would absolutely be like, okay then, fine.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, thank you everyone. Thank you everyone who has donated, and just thanks for hanging out with us today.
Join us later.
Yes.
Join me and Tom later. We're going to be playing Mortuary Assistant.
Yeah.
And really essentially scaring the shit out of ourselves. Both of us, I don't know if you've noticed this, but Tom and I are quite twitchy people.
Yes. Easily spooked.
Easily spooked. So we're going to be playing that until late, 8 till late.
Yes.
So join us for that. And then tomorrow we are going to be doing crafts.
Yes.
And then in the evening, it's the law quiz.
It's the law quiz. And look, I need to go revise. Okay. I need to go revise. I've not revised. So if anyone wants to help me revise,
quiz time.
get in touch. I've revised the list. It's fine. I'm excited for the quiz tomorrow.
I don't think you need to revise. I think you'd be pretty confident.
I think I'm pretty good.
Y'all, thanks for coming along.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, catch you later at 8 p.m. Remember, get those notebooks if you want a notebook. If you want to donate has been going through the chat. So, you know, donate. Or if you, I know a lot of you are probably saving it for like the 24 and 12-hour streams where you can like do stuff. But yeah, thanks so much for playing. This was great. Also, just quickly, round of applause to Lydia. This was
Thanks, guys.
incredible. So much fun. I'm livid, but also like, holy shit, that was so great.
It's a big part of the law of the land.
Yes, it is.
Thanks, sweet. Thank Theo.
Ah, thank.
Well done,
Well
Michelle.
done, Michelle, for being an absolute mess. And
It's very thrilling to play it when, and not. I know this sounds like a backhanded compliment, but when somebody fails as hard as you do, it's really thrilling.
yeah.
And I helped.
And I was here. Thank you.
Trauma and smooches. That's what I do best.
It's true, and that's the kind of content I love, if I'm honest. Trauma and smooches. Yeah, join us late, 8 p.m. So just under 4 hours, we'll be back. Watch Tom and Lydia play a spooky game. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye. Have a good afternoon.